My child, stop. Do not scroll past this. I have reached through the noise of the world to catch your attention at this exact second, not because I need your gaze, but because I am rescuing you from a door that was designed to crush you. I know you are tired. I know you have been searching for a sign, scrolling through endless voices just to find one that understands the silent ache in your chest. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine appointment, a scheduled encounter between your Creator and your soul. I have seen you standing at those closed doors, weeping, pounding your fists until they were bruised, asking me why I would allow such a loss. You felt rejected. You felt forgotten. You felt like the world was moving forward while you were left in the shadows. But I am whispering to you now, in the stillness of this hour, that closed door was not a punishment. It was my mercy. I closed it because I saw the trap just a few steps beyond the threshold. I closed it because I saw the betrayal, the sorrow, and the hollow promises that would have drained your spirit. I am your Father, and I will never allow my chosen one to walk into a fire I have not prepared them to walk through. Before I reveal what is even now navigating its way to your doorstep, I need you to step into agreement with me. Do not stay hidden in your doubt. Write in the comments, "I am here, Lord." Let that be your act of faith, your signal to heaven, that you are no longer running but standing still to hear my voice, to hear my. Listen closely, my precious one, because this is the mystery that will change everything for you. Here's the turning point. The redirection you fear began the moment that door slammed shut. You thought you were being delayed, but you were being rerouted to higher ground. While you were mourning what you lost, I was already constructing what you are about to gain. I am the Alpha and the Omega. I see the end from the beginning, and I saw that the path you were desperate to take would have led to a version of you broken beyond recognition. I love you too much to let you settle for a counterfeit destiny. The silence you have been experiencing was not my absence. It was my focused protection. Tonight, in this very hour, the veil is lifting. The no you received was my yes to something far greater, something sized for your soul, not your fear. What you are believing for is already on the way, but it is coming through a path you never expected. I am the God who makes a way where there is no way, the one who parts the Red Sea when the enemy is closing in. You have passed the test of discouragement, even if you felt like you were failing. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still seeking me. That endurance has built a strength in you that can carry what I am about to release. You are not behind. You are being built. You are not breaking. You are becoming. Every tear you shed has been collected, and I am about to turn that sorrow into a wellspring of joy that will overflow into every area of your life. Let the peace that passes understanding settle over your home. It is done, and it is beginning all at once. Stay with me. Do not let your mind wander to the worries of tomorrow or the failures of yesterday. Do not allow the distractions of your phone or the weight of your to-do list to pull you away from this frequency. I need you to stay in this moment because you are about to understand exactly why everything has been repeating in your life. You have felt like you were on a spiritual treadmill, running faster and faster, exerting all your energy, yet ending up in the same place of lack, the same place of loneliness, and the same place of not enough. It is not because you lack effort. It is not because you're not smart enough or strong enough. It is because you have been pulled by a chase that was never meant for you. You have been trying to catch things that I have been trying to protect you from. And you have been running away from things I have been trying to give you. Stay. Breathe. Focus. This is the moment where the cycle breaks. My child, stop for just one heartbeat. Take a deep breath in through your spirit and exhale slowly, letting the tension leave your neck and your heart. Feel the heaviness lifting as you release that breath. right now in this second, you are in a sacred space, a divine vacuum where the noise of the world, the demands of creditors, and the whispers of the accuser cannot reach you. You are here. You are present. You are being heard by the one who knit you together in your mother's womb and knows every hair on your head. You are being covered by a peace the world cannot give and certainly cannot take away. This is not just a video or a voice. It is a sanctuary for your weary soul, a place where you can finally lay down the armor you've been wearing just to survive. You have spent years chasing after shadows, chasing approval from people who don't even know their own hearts, and chasing a security that can vanish in a moment. You have been exhausted because you were trying to fuel your life with your own limited strength, and that reservoir was never meant to be infinite. Now hear the deeper truth. I am not just changing your circumstances. I am not just moving a mountain or opening a bank account. I am changing the very source within you. I am shifting you from the system of hustle and lack into the system of my unending grace. And here's the shift: most people wait for money before they feel peace. They wait for the relationship to heal before they feel loved. They wait for strength to return before they believe they can move. I am doing the opposite in you. I am giving you peace first, so you can finally see the solution that has been near you. I am giving you love first, so you no longer need to beg for it from others. I am giving you strength first, so you can walk through the miracle when the door swings wide. If this word is keeping you here, hit the like button as a quiet yes to heaven. Stay with me, because now I'm going to show you why your tiredness is actually a sign of your great calling. I see the heavy sigh you take when the door is closed and the world is finally quiet. I see the weight on your shoulders that feels as though the entire world is resting there, demanding more than you have to give. You have been told by the voices of the world that you simply need to do more, be more, and work harder until you are hollowed out. But I am here to whisper into the depths of your soul, you are not lazy. You are simply tired. You are tired of the constant battle, tired of the empty promises of the world, and tired of pretending that everything is okay when your heart is aching with a loneliness that no crowd can fill. I have seen the way you look at your bank account with a knot in your stomach, wondering how the numbers will ever meet the needs. I have seen the quiet moments of despair in the kitchen, the pressure of bills that never seem to end, and the fear of being truly seen in your struggle. Do not be ashamed of your weariness, for I am the God who gives rest to the heavy laden. I saw you in those silent hours of the night when sleep was a stranger and your mind was a battlefield of what-ifs and how-will-is. I saw the tears you wiped away quickly before anyone could walk into the room because you felt you had to be the strong one, the provider, the rock for everyone else. I saw the moments you felt invisible, as if your sacrifices were being poured into a desert that never turns green. You have been fighting in the dark, struggling against debts that feel like chains and expectations that feel like a cage. Hear me now. My beloved, your worth is not tied to your productivity. Your value is not determined by your output or the size of your achievements. You have been conditioned to believe that if you just push a little harder, peace will finally arrive. But hard work, when disconnected from my presence, is a road that leads only to depletion. I am not looking at your exhausted hands. I am looking at your precious heart, and I see a warrior who has simply run out of fuel. Here's the truth that will set your spirit free tonight. You are not exhausted because you are weak. You are exhausted because you've been trying to carry a whole system as if you were God, acting as the provider, the protector, and the frantic architect of your own fate. You've been dragging the weight of the how and the when, trying to control every variable in an uncertain world. That was never your burden. You are the child, and I am the father. You were designed to work from rest, not to work, until you finally collapse into it. When you try to sustain your life by sheer willpower, you enter a kingdom of friction. but I am calling you into a kingdom of flow. If you're ready to release what you've carried for years, speak it to me now. Whisper, I surrender it all, and let me lead. This is the moment where the pressure begins to lift, not because the world has changed, but because you are changing your position. Take another deep breath. The struggle you are in is not there to stop you. It is there to push you toward me. You are not being punished. You are being prepared to handle the weight of the glory I am about to reveal. My child, look back at the path you have walked and notice the dust you have kicked up in your frantic pursuit. You have been running so hard that you have forgotten how to walk with me in the cool of the day. You are caught in what I call the chase, a cycle of human effort that promises satisfaction, but delivers only a deeper thirst. This chase happens on 3 levels of your soul, and until you recognize them, you will remain a prisoner to your own pace. The first level is the chase for approval. You have been performing for an audience that was never meant to judge you. You seek the well done from people who are just as lost as you were, hoping that their validation will finally quiet the voice of inadequacy in your mind. You work late, you say yes when your soul says no, and you shape-shift into whoever they need you to be, all because you are chasing a sense of belonging that only I can provide. But their applause is a vapor, and their criticism is a shadow. I have already approved of you before the foundation of the world was laid. You do not have to earn a seat at my table. It was built for you by my hands. The second level of this exhaustion is the chase for control. This is the desire to know every detail of the how and the when. You have gripped your life so tightly that your knuckles have turned white, believing that if you let go for even a second, everything will crumble into chaos. You stay awake at night, replaying scenarios, trying to fix problems that haven't even happened yet, and building walls of certainty around your future. But control is an illusion, a fragile bridge built over a river of fear. You chase control because you do not yet trust my character. You believe that if I am in charge, I might forget you, or I might lead you into lack. But I am the God of the storm and the God of the sparrow. My plans for you are not a puzzle for you to solve. They are a path for you to follow. When you stop trying to be the architect, you can finally enjoy being the inhabitant of the house I have built for you. The third level, the one that drains the very marrow from your bones, is the chase for speed. You live in a world that worships the now, and you have allowed that urgency to poison your spirit. You want the debt gone now, the healing now, and the breakthrough now. You feel that if it doesn't happen today, it will never happen at all. You have mistaken my preparation for my procrastination. You are chasing the finish line while I am trying to teach you how to run the race. This speed is not efficiency. It is anxiety in motion. You chase because you are afraid that time is running out. But I am the author of time. I can compress years into a moment, and I can make a single day yield the fruit of a decade. You chase because of fear, fear that you are missing out, fear that you are behind, or fear that I am silent. But I am inviting you to align because of faith. Alignment is not about moving faster. It is about moving with me. Listen closely, this is how it shifts when you finally stop the chase. You begin to hear the instructions. My voice does not compete with the sound of your running feet. It whispers in the stillness of surrender. Step off the treadmill of human effort and walk in the rhythm of my grace. The chase ends here. The walk begins now. Subscribe to this channel because this is where we will gather to learn the art of being still and to live by my peace instead of the world's urgency. Stop looking at your paycheck as your savior, my child. Stop treating your employer as your ultimate provider and your career as your only sanctuary. I am speaking to the part of you that trembles when the economy shifts, the part of you that feels your heart rate spike when a meeting is called behind closed doors. A job is merely a pipe, a temporary channel I use to flow my abundance into your life. But I am the water. If a pipe breaks, I can simply build another one. If a channel dries up, I have 10,000 other ways to reach you that your mind has not even conceived of yet. When you worship the channel, you live in constant fear of it being cut off. You become a slave to the whims of men, a prisoner to the opinions of those who cannot even breathe without my permission. But when you look at me as your source, you walk with a boldness that the world cannot explain. I am the God who fed Elijah by the brook using ravens. And when the brook dried up, I sent him to a widow. I am not limited by your industry, your qualifications, or your boss's opinion of you. Stop chasing what I did not appoint and start resting in the one who appointed you before the foundation of the world. You do not need to work harder to be loved more by me. You do not need to burn the candle at both ends, sacrificing your sleep and your sanity just to prove your worth to the heavens. My love for you is a fixed constant, unmoving and unbreakable. It is not a reward for your exhaustion. The world tells you that more effort always equals more reward. But in my kingdom, the principle is different. You do not need to exhaust yourself to find success. You only need to stand in the right position. This is the secret of alignment. You must be in the place where I have called you to be doing what I have called you to do. Think of a radio. It doesn't work hard to find the music. It simply tunes into the correct frequency. When you are out of alignment, you are fighting against the current of my will, and every step feels like a grueling battle. But when you yield, you step into a flow that has been waiting for you since the beginning of time. Don't try to create the stream. Just learn how to step into the one I have already set in motion for you. Many of you are waiting for a massive deposit in your bank account before you allow yourselves to feel secure. But I tell you, the first sign of my movement is not financial, it is spiritual. The first proof that your season is shifting is the arrival of a peace that defies logic. It is the ability to sleep deeply while the storm is still raging outside your window. It is the quiet, unshakable confidence that whispers everything is handled even when the numbers on the screen do not add up yet. As that calm begins to settle in, you recognize it for what it is, a sign that I am near, a sign that I am moving, a sign that you are coming back into alignment with your true source. I am recalibrating your vision tonight, my beloved. I am taking your eyes off the mountain and putting them back on the mountain mover. You have been staring at the little in your hand until it made you feel small. But I am the God of the much. I am the God who turned 5 loaves and 2 fish into a feast for thousands with leftovers to spare. Your job is how the world operates, and it often consumes your strength until there is nothing left. But a miracle is how my kingdom operates, and it flows from simple obedience. Do not let the lack of the moment blind you to the abundance of your Father. Do not measure my ability by the mathematics of men, my child. Earthly logic is a system of subtraction and division. It tells you that if you give, you have less, and if there is a famine, you must starve. But I operate by the laws of a higher kingdom, an economy where multiplication and grace are the currency. In your world, you were trained to hoard because of the fear of not enough. You were trained to wait until every indicator turns green and every expert gives approval before you move. But kingdom order begins in the spirit. It is the realm where the last becomes first, and the empty cup is the one most likely to be filled to overflowing. You have been trying to solve a spiritual equation with a calculator made of clay. Stop trying to make sense of your future using the logic of a world that is passing away. My ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are deeper than your fears. Listen carefully, because one single idea from heaven can replace 20 years of human struggle. You have been grinding, sweating, and straining to find a solution for your debt, your delays, or your stagnant career. But you are looking through the narrow lens of effort. I am the God who can drop a thought into your mind while you sleep, a strategy, a connection, a creative spark that will do more in 24 hours than your own strength could do in 24 years. This is the difference between working for a living and living for a calling. When you align with my economy, you no longer beg for crumbs from tables you were never meant to sit under. You become a carrier and a distributor of what I release. I am not limited by the inflation of your nation or the stagnation of your industry. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills, and I can open rivers in places you thought were sealed. Now this is where you are tested, the threshold many refuse to cross. Do you dare to believe I am your source? Before the balance on your screen changes, do you have the courage to praise me in the desert? Before the first drop of rain hits the sand. Most people wait for evidence to feel faith. But I am asking you to carry faith that produces evidence. This is the kingdom shift the moment you decide. My word is more real than your bank statement. If you can trust me when the cupboards are bare, I can trust you with the abundance being prepared for you. I am refining you in uncertainty so that when the gold arrives, it does not consume your soul. I am training your eyes to see the invisible so you can walk into the impossible. If you are ready to stop calculating and start believing, seal it in your spirit right now. Say it quietly, but mean it. You are my source. Your word is my evidence. Your peace is my portion. Now we don't just understand this. We enforce it in prayer. Put your hand on your chest. Breathe. Let's decree. Father, in the name of Jesus, cover me right now. I shut down panic. I shut down noise. I choose your peace. Say it out loud. Round 1, peace. Peace of God settle over me now. Anxiety, you will not rule me. Repeat after me. Round 2, peace. My breath aligns with heaven. I am anchored and unshaken. Say it out loud. Round 3, wisdom. Lord, give me wisdom for the next step. I will not choose out of fear. Repeat after me. Round 4, wisdom, confusion breaks. Direction comes clear, simple, and doable. Say it out loud. Round 5, provision, Jehovah Jireh. Provide without striving. I receive supply with peace. Repeat after me. Round 6, provision, doors open. Favor surrounds me. Help arrives on time. Say it out loud. Round 7, seal, peace leads me. Wisdom guides me. Provision follows me. It is done. Amen. Stay with me because now I'm going to show you what changes everything next. Let me take you back to a time when the earth was parched and the sky was like brass. There was a great famine in the land, a drought that drained the hope from every heart and turned the soil into dust. My servant Isaac looked at the cracked ground and felt the same fear you feel today. Human logic, the voice of survival, told him to flee to Egypt, to run to the place that seemed to have more to chase the shadow of security. But I spoke to him in the heat of his desperation, just as I am speaking to you now. I told him, do not go down to Egypt. Stay in the land of which I shall tell you. I commanded him to stay in the very place of his lack. While everyone else was hoarding their seeds, terrified of the tomorrow they could not see, Isaac did something the world called madness. He sowed his precious seed into the dry, thirsty ground of a famine. He chose my voice over the evidence of his eyes. Here's the revelation. My provision is not dependent on the weather, the economy, or the cycles of the earth. Because Isaac stayed in alignment with my instruction, he reaped in that same year 100-fold. While others were starving, his barns were overflowing. While others were weeping over their losses, he was wondering where to store the abundance. I did not change the weather for Isaac. I changed the results of his obedience. This is what I am calling famine-proof provision. It is wealth that does not come from the system of the world, but from the storehouse of the Spirit. You have been waiting for the famine in your life to end before you trust me. But I am showing you that the harvest is hidden inside the famine. Your breakthrough is not waiting for a better economy. It is waiting for your decision to plant faith in my word, despite what the news says. The path to this miracle follows a divine rhythm you must learn to recognize. It begins with peace. When you stop frantic running and let my presence settle your nerves, your vision clears. This leads to perception. Suddenly, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. You see a well where others see a desert. From perception comes movement, the inspired action, the sowing I prompt you to do. And finally, movement leads to provision. You have been trying to jump straight to provision while your heart is still in panic. I am telling you today, find your peace in me first. When you are still, you can hear the strategy that will bypass the famine of your generation. I am the God who can make a desert bloom in a single night if you will stay in the position of trust I have marked for you. If you're choosing obedience over headlines today, write in the comments, I sow 777. Consider the wisdom of the Shunammite woman, a soul who understood a secret many of my children forget in their haste. She did not approach my prophet Elisha with a list of demands or a heart full of desperate begging. Instead, she recognized that my presence requires a place to rest. She turned to her husband and said, "Let us make a small room on the roof." She didn't wait for a miracle before she prepared the space. She built the room while her life was still ordinary, while her arms were still empty of the child she desired. She provided a bed, a table, a chair, and a lamp. She created capacity. She understood that a guest as great as the Spirit of the living God does not stay where there is no room. She carved out a quiet sanctuary in the middle of her busy life. And because she made room for the prophet, she made room for the miraculous. Hear this. The miracle you are praying for is often already hovering near your house, waiting for a place to land. My power does not force its way into a cluttered life or a crowded mind. It seeks the empty space you intentionally clear. You ask me for overflow, but your container is already full of worry, full of old failures, full of the noise of opinions. I cannot pour new wine into a bottle already filled with vinegar. The Shunammite woman didn't receive because she was perfect. She received because she was prepared. She made room, and heaven honored what was dedicated. If your life feels stagnant, do not question. My hands check your room. Have you cleared space for the new thing I'm trying to do? So I ask you tonight, what are you willing to move out to make room for me? Will you move out bitterness to make room for blessing? Will you move out control to make room for my glory? What you are asking for is weighty. It requires strong shoulders and a heart emptied of self so it can be filled with spirit. The miracle often enters through the very void you created through sacrifice. If you are ready, whisper it to me, Lord, I make room. Let that be your private declaration, your preparation for the arrival of the impossible. And now, remain attentive. Because as you make room, you will begin to notice that the empty spaces in your life, the places where you felt the most lack, are exactly where my power will manifest. The room is being built. The table is being set. And what you have been praying for is already moving toward the space you surrendered. My child, look at your life through the lens of a man named Matthew. He sat at a tax booth, a place of calculation, a place of numbers, a place of worldly security. To everyone watching, Matthew looked safe, steady income, a position in the system, a predictable future. But inside that booth, his soul was suffocating. He was trapped in a pattern of greed and fear, a pattern that told him his value was only what he could collect and count. Then I walked by. I didn't give him a business plan or a financial guarantee. I simply said, follow me. And in that moment, Matthew did the unthinkable. He stood up and left the booth behind. He didn't leave because he was irresponsible. He left because he recognized a higher authority. He realized the booth he thought was protecting him was also preventing him from walking into destiny. And you too have been sitting in a booth of fear, clinging to what keeps you small because you're afraid of what happens if you let go. Hear my voice today. Leaving an old way of thinking is not recklessness. It is obedience. I am not necessarily calling you to walk away from your job, but I am calling you to walk away from the spirit of the slave that lives within it. Matthew left the booth in his heart before he ever moved his feet. He stopped believing the empire was his source, and he started believing the King of Kings was his shepherd. You have been operating under a weight that demands everything and gives nothing back but anxiety. I am calling you out of that dependency. You are not losing your safety, you are changing your foundation. You are moving from shifting sand to solid rock. You can still sit in the chair. You can still do the task. But you must no longer be a slave to the fear of losing it. Your security is not in the chair you sit in. It is in the Father who holds the world. Now hear the key. I am not calling you out of responsibility. I am calling you out of fear-based dependency. You have used fear as fuel for too long, believing that if you don't worry, you won't survive. I am teaching you a new way to breathe. I am calling you to work from victory, not from desperation. When Matthew left that booth, he didn't just leave a job. He left a lifestyle of not enough. He stepped into overflow, into purpose, into seeing the broken restored. The booth could only give him wages. Following me gave him a world-changing assignment, and I am doing the same for you. I am dismantling pillars of fear so I can replace them with pillars of peace. Chains break when dependency breaks. You are not unsafe, you are being relocated into the shadow of my wings. I want to show you what this looks like in the world you walk through every day, so you can recognize my hand when it moves in the coming hours. I have seen you staring at your phone, heart racing, fearing the name of the debt collector or the creditor on the screen. You felt the cold grip of anxiety in your throat, preparing for another battle you didn't have the strength to fight. But listen to what I am doing. I am the one who moves the heart of the person on the other end of that line. There will be a moment very soon when you take a call you expect it to be a nightmare, and instead of a demand, you hear unexpected grace. They will offer a grace period you didn't ask for, or an extension you didn't think was possible. This isn't because the system changed. It's because I stepped into the conversation before you even picked up the phone. I am silencing the lions in your den so you can walk through the fire and not be burned. Perhaps you are grieving a contract that fell through or a promotion that went to someone else. You felt the sting of not enough and the fear that your chance had passed forever. But look closely at the screen of your life. I am reviving what looked dead. Somewhere right now, an email is being drafted because a bigger candidate withdrew or a company realized their first choice lacked the integrity I have built into you. You will receive a notification that feels like resurrection, a revived offer, a second chance, or a project that returns because I blocked the wrong paths. I am moving the pieces while you sleep. Do not call it coincidence, call it covenant order. I am removing obstacles meant to hinder you, and I am laying a path that leads you forward. I have seen you sitting in offices, trying to explain why a payment was late, or why a fee should be waived, feeling shame like a heavy cloak. But hear this: when you carry my peace into a room, you carry my favor. You will experience a moment where a calm conversation, one where you stayed centered in me, leads to a sudden yes. Penalties will be waived, interest will be reduced, and fees that felt set in stone will melt like wax before fire. This happens because clarity follows peace. When your heart is quiet, your words carry weight, and people find themselves wanting to help you without knowing why. I am the why. I am the one softening rigid hearts and opening closed hands on your behalf. Peace first, then perception, then movement, then the miraculous. Subscribe to stay under these instructions, because the next chapter will teach you how provision finds alignment. My child, hear this eternal truth the world has tried to hide from you. Provision is not something you have to hunt down in the dry wilderness of effort. It is something that will locate you. You have been taught you must be the predator, chasing survival with every ounce of strength, but in my kingdom, the roles are reversed. Imagine my resources as a living river, flowing exactly where I have commanded it to go. If you are standing in a desert of your own making, chasing plans I never breathed life into, you will always be thirsty. But when you move to the specific spot I have marked for your destiny, the water will find you. You do not have to shout for the blessing. You only have to be where the blessing is scheduled to arrive. Resources find the assignment. I do not send provision to a person just because they are busy. I send it to a purpose because it is holy. When you align your heart with my will, you become a magnetic north for the miracles I prepared for you before time began. You have spent so much energy and so many sleepless nights trapped in the 3 layers of the chase. You sought the approval of those who could never truly see your value. And in doing so, you wandered away from the path I laid for you. You gripped the controls of your life so tightly that you squeezed out room for my spirit to move. You demanded speed, rushing into seasons you were not yet strong enough to carry, and you wondered why you felt so broken. These 3: approval, control, and speed are like thick clouds that hide you from the sun of my favor. But tonight, I am calling you to trade them for trust, positioning, and obedience. Trust ends worry. Positioning is being where I told you to be. Obedience is doing what I told you to do. When you stay in holy alignment, you no longer have to run. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right finances are already in motion. They have been waiting for you to stop sprinting long enough to be found. Listen closely, because this is where the shift begins. I do not fund panic. I fund obedience. Panic is a signal that you believe the shadow of the enemy is longer than the reach of my hand. Panic scatters focus and deafens your ears to my whisper. I cannot build a house on a foundation of trembling fear. But obedience is different. Obedience is a quiet, steady step forward, even when the path is not yet clear. When you take that step when your legs feel weak and the world is screaming at you to run, you activate the storehouses of heaven. I do not reward the frantic. I reward the faithful. Stop forcing the doors of the world open. Do the small, quiet thing I have already prompted in your spirit. You will find the supply you need is waiting at the next intersection. I am not a God of lack. I am the God of overflow. And my overflow follows my order. So be still. Be positioned. Be found. My child, you have been looking for the manifestation in your hands, but I am showing you the ladder that leads from your heart to the throne of my abundance. This is the sequence of the miraculous, and you must learn to recognize the rungs as you climb. Most people wait for the bank account to change before they feel relief, but that is the logic of the earth. In my kingdom, the ladder starts within. Stop and take a deep, intentional breath with me right now. Exhale the pressure that has been weighing on your shoulders for far too long. Can you feel it? Feel the tension leaving your neck and the grip on your heart loosening. As you breathe out, feel your heart rate slowing to the rhythm of grace. This is the first and most critical rung: peace. Not the peace the world gives, a peace that depends on circumstances, but the peace that lives in my presence. Freedom begins the moment fear leaves the room. Now hear the hidden key. Peace is not the destination. Peace is the engine of your perception. Once you step onto the first rung of peace, the second rung appears: perception. When you are no longer blinded by the fog of panic, your eyes begin to see what was always there. You notice opportunities hidden in plain sight. You see a connection you overlooked, a creative idea that was drowned out by worry, or a path everyone else ignored. I am not only giving you a solution, I am giving you sight to recognize it. You will wake with clarity that surprises you. You will look at your problems and realize they are not mountains, but stepping stones. This change in how you see is proof that my spirit is moving behind the scenes, rearranging your reality to match my promises. The third rung is movement. As you walk in peace and see with perception, you will notice the physical world starting to respond. This is the stage of the sign. You may receive a message from someone you haven't spoken to in years. You may get a call that feels out of the blue, or an offer that arrives like a quiet whisper from heaven. These are not coincidences. They are the outward echo of the inward shift you have already made. And then comes the fourth rung, provision. This is where the money arrives, the solution manifests, and the debt is settled. You cannot skip to the top of the ladder without standing on the lower rungs. I am teaching you the process so that when abundance comes, it doesn't overwhelm you, it serves you. I am adjusting the frequency of your soul. I am untying knots in your thinking that kept you bound to not enough. I am preparing an overflow your mind cannot explain, but your spirit will recognize as home. I am declaring over you tonight that the days of frantic climbing are over. You are now being carried by the momentum of my spirit. I am smoothing the path and making crooked places straight. I am the God who sees the end from the beginning. And I see you standing higher than you thought possible, looking back at the valley of fear with a quiet smile. The atmosphere is shifting. The ladder is steady. And I am holding your hand every step of the way. My child, the time for frantic wandering has ended, and the season of intentional alignment has begun. I am calling you into a sacred 3-night reset, a divine protocol to detox your spirit and prepare your house for the overflow that is already seeking you. Tonight, on this first night, I am calling you to a silence audit. Before you lay your head upon your pillow, silence the noise of the world. Turn off the glowing screens, the frantic news, and the voices that tell you that you are not enough. In the quiet, take a piece of paper and write down the 3 greatest fears that have been haunting your sleep, the 3 giants that seem too big to fall. Do not hide them from me. I already see them. Once they are written, speak this seal over your room. Lord, you are my source. This is not punishment. I am detoxing your nervous system from the poison of urgency. I am clearing the static so my voice can become the loudest sound in your life. On the second night, we move from silence to the anchor. You have been drifting in a sea of opinions, but tonight, you will drop anchor into the bedrock of my word. Find one powerful promise, words like, "Those who seek the Lord lack no good thing," and read them slowly 3 times until they move from your eyes into your marrow. Do not read for information. Read for foundation. Let these words govern your household. Here is the hinge that changes everything. You don't read these words to learn about me. You read them to anchor your soul, so when the winds of the world blow, you remain unmoved. This is the night when knowing becomes being. You are no longer a person trying to believe, you are a person anchored in truth. On the third night, it is time for the obedience micro step and the sacrifice of thanksgiving. I am not asking you to move a mountain tonight. I am asking you to take one small, quiet step that proves your trust. Perhaps it is sending the email you've been avoiding, making a calm phone call to discuss a path forward, or tidying one corner of your home to make room for the new. Do it as worship. And then before the money appears, before the healing is complete, before the door swings wide, offer me gratitude. Give thanks as if the miracle has already arrived, for in my realm it has. This is the frequency of the miraculous gratitude before proof. Seal this in your spirit. Let your heart agree before your mouth speaks. This is your transition. The first night is approaching, and I am waiting for you in the silence. We are rebuilding your foundation together, stone by stone, night by night. The 3 nights start now. My child, open your ears to a secret that governs the very stars in the sky and the depths of the oceans. When I created the universe, I did not use my hands to mold the light. I used my voice. I spoke into the void, and the darkness had no choice but to surrender to my command. You were created in my image, and within your tongue lies a power you have only begun to fathom, the power of life and death. You have spent years using your words merely to describe the mountain in front of you. But I am calling you tonight to speak to the mountain. Your words are not empty sounds echoing in a room. They are blueprints. Every time you speak, you plant seeds in the soil of the spirit realm. If you speak lack, you water weeds of poverty. If you speak exhaustion, you cultivate weariness. But when you speak my promises, you weave the fabric of the miracle you seek. Stop coming to me as a beggar outside the gate, shivering and pleading for a crumb. You are not a stranger. You are my heir. When you talk to me, do not speak as one unsure of my love or my willingness to provide. You do not need to convince me to be good to you. I have already decided to bless you. I am calling you to speak with me in agreement. When you say, "It is written, heaven stands at attention and the enemy must flee," you are not begging for change. You are declaring a truth already settled in the eternal realm. This agreement is the bridge that allows invisible provision to manifest in your visible world. When you say I am provided for, even when the bank account looks empty, you are not denying your situation. You are affirming your position in my kingdom. Now hear the turning point. The words you speak are the steering wheel of the miracle. You cannot speak bitterness and arrive at blessing. You cannot speak fear and steer into faith. Your tongue is the rudder of your existence. It sets direction regardless of the storm. If you keep talking about how tired you are, how broke you are, or how unfair life is, you dig up the seeds you planted in prayer. Sometimes, my child, you must be silent until your words match my will. Stop digging up your seeds with negative speech. Write in the comments, "I agree 10-10." Let your mouth come into alignment with heaven, then watch your world begin to follow. My beloved, I want to give you a secret anchor, a divine code to carry in your heart when the winds of the world try to blow you off course. This is not just a sentence. It is a frequency of truth that has sustained my children through deserts, famines, and storms for generations. Listen to these words as if they are being whispered directly into your soul, for they are a blueprint for your new reality. The young lions do lack and suffer hunger, but they that seek the Lord shall not want any good thing. Sit with that for a moment. Feel the weight of the promise. In the world system, the young lions are the strongest, the fastest, the most capable. They are the ones who hunt the ones who exert the most effort, the ones who rely on their own teeth and claws to survive. Yet I tell you, even the strongest can find themselves empty, exhausted, and starving. The lions represent those who rely solely on their own strength, their own cleverness, their own hustle. You have tried to be a lion, haven't you? You sharpened your skills. You hunted for opportunities until your feet were weary. You tried to roar at problems to make them move. But even with all that strength, you still found yourself lacking, hungry for peace, hungry for security, hungry for a purpose that doesn't drain you. This is because strength without alignment is simply a faster road to exhaustion. Out of alignment, even a mountain of gold will not satisfy the hunger in your spirit. The lions lack because they rely on a source that can run dry. But you are being called to a different way of living. I am calling you to stop being the frantic lion and become the seeker. To seek me is not to search for what is lost, for I am near. To seek me is to turn your attention away from the hunt and toward the provider. It is a shift of your gaze. When you seek the Lord, you step into covenant, and the responsibility for your good things shifts off your shoulders and onto mine. I know what you need before you ask, and my promise is absolute. You shall not want any good thing. I did not say some things or barely enough. I said any good thing. If it is for your growth, for your joy, and for your destiny, I have already prepared the supply. Now take this verse and personalize it. Breathe it in, I seek the Lord, and therefore I lack no good thing. Say it slowly until the truth settles your hands and steadies your mind. I am the shepherd, and you are the sheep of my pasture. In my presence, there is no lack, only overflow. You do not have to fight for crumbs when you are a child at the king's table. The resources of heaven are not a rumor. They are covenant, and covenant does not fail. Hold this code close. Let it govern your thoughts when fear tries to speak. Let it correct your mouth when panic tries to rewrite your story. Seek me and watch how any good thing begins to find you. Close your eyes and see the sequence I am preparing for you, because the internal shift always precedes the external manifestation. I am painting a picture of your next few days, and it begins with supernatural calm. You will wake up tomorrow morning, and for the first time in a long time, the first thought in your mind will not be debt, worry, or regret. It will be a quiet, unshakable peace that whispers through your spirit, it is handled. This calm is the foundation layer of the miracle. From that stillness, clarity will rise. You will look at your finances, your relationships, and your obstacles, and you will see paths where there were once only walls. You will know what to say, when to move, and when to wait. This is not mere intelligence. It is wisdom guiding your steps. I am clearing the fog of panic so you can navigate destiny with steady hands. Now watch as the montage of my grace unfolds in your physical world. After clarity, there will be contact, a connection you did not manufacture. It may be a notification that makes your heart skip a beat, an unexpected message from someone who holds a key to your next level, or a casual conversation that becomes a doorway. Do not call these moments coincidences. Do not call it luck. Call it covenant order. I move kings and commoners alike to serve the destiny of my chosen ones. And when the solution manifests, when the contract is signed, the health is restored, or the resources arrive, remember, this was not random. It was a move from the throne of grace, designed to remind you that I have never looked away from your struggle. I am aligning the heart of the world to beat in favor of your purpose. Listen carefully. My child, because you must not hurry past this, I am not only giving you breakthrough, I am delivering you from the spirit of fear itself. If I gave you money but left fear in your heart, you would only worry about losing it. If I gave you a solution but left anxiety, you would only wait for the next problem. I am doing deeper work. I am pulling terror out by the roots so you can walk into your future with the boldness of a child who knows their father owns everything. I am not just paying a bill. I am setting a captive free. I am not just fixing a situation. I am restoring identity. I am taking you out of the prison of what if and placing you in the palace of it is done. I am making you immune to the atmosphere of lack that poisons those around you. Stay in expectation. Let your heart be the canvas where I paint these victories. As calm turns into clarity and clarity turns into solution, let praise carry you through. I am returning peace to you tonight, not as a temporary gift, but as a permanent possession. You have been in the fire, but you are emerging fireproof. The smoke of old worries will not cling to you. I am making everything beautiful in its time, and your time is now. The montage has already begun in heaven, and soon it will be the reality you see with your own eyes. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Above all, trust the heart that beats with everlasting love for you. The shift is not coming, it is already here. Come now, my beloved, and let us seal this covenant together in the quiet sanctuary of this moment. Surrender every lingering doubt, every hidden anxiety, every whisper of what if that tried to steal your joy. Repeat these words in the depth of your soul, not as a beggar, but as a child of the King. Father, I trust you. I will stop chasing the wind. I will align my heart with your rhythm of grace. As you speak this, I am placing a divine seal upon your heart tonight, a mark that tells the spiritual realm you are under my covering. What has been aligned in this hour will not be undone by the noise of the world. What belongs to covenant will find its way to your door. No thief of peace can steal what I have decreed over you. You are no longer drifting, you are anchored. You are no longer hunting, you are being found by my favor. Let the stillness soak into your bones. The warfare of your effort is over, and the season of restoration has begun. And do not carry this as a temporary feeling. Carry it as a new way to exist. I place protection over your family, your finances, and your future. What tried to hinder you will be blocked by my hand. What spoke against you will fall to the ground like dust. I am clothing you with discernment, so you recognize the right doors and you leave the wrong ones closed. I am giving you wisdom for timing, so you never again run in panic. Walk in the rhythm of grace, not the rhythm of fear. You are positioned for a glory the world cannot explain, but your spirit will recognize as home. I have set a guard over your mind and a fire around your dwelling. Everything is handled. Everything is prepared. Everything is in motion. Go in peace, my precious one. I am with you. I have always been with you, and I am leading you into your finest hour. It is done. If you want to stay aligned with these messages, press like and subscribe. Stop. In this very moment, I am asking you to stop. Do not scroll past. Do not let your finger move another millimeter on that screen. Can you feel it? A subtle electric chill running down your spine? A sudden skip in your heartbeat as your eyes lock onto these words. This is not a mere coincidence. This is not the result of a soulless algorithm crafted by men in this year of 2025. This is a divine decree from the heights of heaven, a sovereign interruption in the middle of your journey. I have been waiting for you. I have anticipated this exact moment since the dawn of time, long before the stars were positioned in their celestial tracks. I knew you would be here in this exact second, carrying the specific weight that currently presses upon your soul. I have watched you navigate the digital noise, searching for a sign, and now I have found you. This is our private meeting, a sacred pause in the middle of your chaotic day, ordained by my hand to change everything you thought you knew about your future. You are so incredibly weary from the deafening clamor of this world, aren't you? You are tired of the endless notifications, the crushing pressures of societal expectations, the cold judgments of strangers, and even more so, the relentless echoing voices of self-criticism screaming inside your own mind. I am asking you to breathe. Exhale. Let it all go. Inhale my peace, which surpasses all human understanding, and exhale every single burden you have been desperately carrying on your own, until your shoulders have begun to bow under the weight. You did not find this video by chance. I sent it out to find you, just as a shepherd relentlessly searches for a single lost sheep in the darkest, most terrifying night. Your search for answers ends here because I am the answer you have been seeking in the shadows of your loneliest hours. I am the voice that whispers when all other voices have fallen silent, telling you that you are not forgotten. Before I reveal the hidden key to the destiny I prepared for you, I'm asking for one simple act of spiritual obedience. Do not turn away. Your breakthrough is at the door, waiting for your recognition. Press like now. Let that be your quiet yes in the natural. And type, "I am ready" in the comments. Seal it on earth so heaven can record your agreement. Do not drift away in this moment, because if you scroll past this key, you may miss the exact instruction your spirit has been crying out for. I see you. I have watched you in the deep shadows of your room, where the only sound is the indifferent ticking of the clock and the ache in your chest that feels like it might split you in two. I have been with you in those hollow hours when the world is wrapped in sleep, but your mind is racing like a trapped animal, running circles around the same fear, the same question, the same heavy what if. I see you staring at the ceiling, eyes burning, tears withheld, until your body forgets how to release them. You feel as though you are speaking into a vast, empty space, wondering if anyone at all hears the silent cry of a spirit pushed to its limit. But hear me. My precious child, I hear you. I have counted what you thought went unnoticed. I have gathered what you thought was wasted. Not one sigh escaped me. Even when you felt abandoned, I was beside you in the dark, holding you together when you felt yourself coming apart. I see you in the early light of morning, standing before the mirror, searching your own face for the person you used to be. Where is the spark that once lived in your eyes? Where is the one who believed they could rise, build, and overcome? And instead, you notice the shadows under your eyes and the heaviness in your shoulders, the tiredness that feels lodged in your bones. You've been functioning like a machine, running at full capacity to keep the appearance of stability, while inside you're running on empty, craving one moment of real rest. I see the scars of battles you fought in silence. And I tell you this, your exhaustion is not proof of failure. It is proof of endurance. You have been carrying more than you were meant to carry without the support you deserved. I also hear the calculations you try to silence: rent bills, debt, the numbers that refuse to cooperate. I see what happens in your stomach when you look at the screen and realize it doesn't add up. I hear the question you whisper into the dark. How much longer, Lord? I hear the sting when you watch others move forward while you feel stuck in place. But listen closely to my voice. You are not behind. You are being built. You are not breaking. You are becoming. Every pressure you've faced has been shaping you, because I am the master craftsman, and I do not waste pain. I refine it. And I know the specific ache of a life that feels like almost and not yet. Dreams folded away because looking at them hurts. Minutes sold at work for a wage that barely covers survival. A longing in your chest that flares when you see a joy you've been waiting for. You feel like you are wandering a desert, thirsty for one sign that your labor is not in vain. But hear me, the desert is not your destination. It is your training ground. The tears you shed in secret are not lost. They are seeds, and the harvest is already growing in my storehouse. Your silence has been the space where I've been moving unseen, aligning pieces you cannot see, preparing doors you cannot force open. The season of secret tears is coming to a close, and the season of testimony is drawing near. Trust me in the silence. For even when I am quiet, I am never still. You have been wounded by words sharp as a razor, haven't you? I have heard the echoes, voices that told you you weren't good enough, too old, too young, too broken, too late. They measured you by your wallet, your title, your outward performance, judging the surface while ignoring the depth of your spirit. They dismissed you when you didn't fit their narrow definition of success, and they left you wondering if their cruelty was the truth. But hear me, their voices are dust. They do not hold the pen that writes your story, and they do not have the authority to define the value of a soul I formed with my own breath. Their rejection was not proof of your lack. It was proof of their blindness to the treasure I placed within you. What they refused to recognize, I have been refining. What they tried to silence, I have been preparing to elevate. Listen to me, because I alone know the texture of your heart. I do not see as men see. While the world chases appearances and applause, I look into the gold of your character. I saw the kindness you offered when no one clapped. I saw the integrity you kept when lying would have been easier. I saw the resilience you carried through mockery and disappointment. You are not a mistake. You are not a failure. You are a masterpiece in progress, crafted, refined, and strengthened. Your current season, whether financial pressure or quiet loneliness, does not define who you are. It is only the canvas, and I am about to paint it with colors you have not yet seen. Remember this: the stone the builders rejected became the cornerstone. What others dismissed, I am using as the foundation of my greatest work in you. So let this settle into your spirit like warm oil. You are not what they called you. You are what I have declared. And my verdict does not change. You are worthy, you are chosen, you are precious. The very things they mocked will become proof of what I built in you. I am turning scars into credentials. I am using rejection as fuel for elevation. You were never meant to fit in because you were designed to carry something different. Stop seeking approval from those who were never assigned to your destiny. Your worth is anchored in me. Your season of being overlooked is ending, and the season of being honored is beginning. The world may have written you off, but I have written your name in the palms of my hands, and no power can erase it. Every no you received from man was me protecting you from rooms where your light would have been dimmed. Every door that slammed was my hand steering you away from a counterfeit path. You do not have to perform for my love. You do not have to earn your seat at my table. You were born with an inheritance that criticism cannot steal. Lift your head now, not in arrogance, but in holy confidence. The chains of people-pleasing are loosening. The fear of opinions is breaking. You are becoming free to be exactly who I created you to be, without apology and without fear. Subscribe now, stay under this covering, because I am going to keep rebuilding your identity until the fear of human opinions cannot find you again. I know the exhausting weight of the role you play every single day. I see the mask you build before you step out into the world, a shield of strength meant to hide the trembling in your soul. You smile with practiced brightness. You carry the duties of a tireless parent, a faithful friend, a dependable worker. And you say, I'm fine, with a rehearsed ease that has become second nature. But I see what happens when you are alone. I see the dimming of your eyes. I hear the heavy sigh that escapes when the door finally closes and the lights go out. You are tired of being the strong one, tired of being the pillar everyone leans on while you feel yourself turning to dust. You are carrying expectations that were never meant to sit on your shoulders, and you fear that if the mask slips for even a moment, everything will collapse. My child, you were never designed to carry this weight alone. You do not need to be strong in my presence. You do not need polished sentences. You do not need to hide the raw edges of your heart from me. I am not impressed by performance, and I am not repelled by vulnerability. In your weakest, most honest moments, my strength finds its clearest expression. So let the facade fall. Let the tears come if they must. Tears are not weakness. They are the language of a soul that has been brave for too long. I am the safe harbor where you can finally admit you are afraid. Finally confess you don't have all the answers. Finally breathe without pretending. Now I want you to do something simple and holy. Stop. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the steady rhythm beneath your palm. Close your eyes and shut out the noise. Listen. Thump, thump, thump. That is not only a biological function. That is my knock at the door of your soul. That heartbeat is proof that I have not abandoned you. It is the sound of life still moving through you, meaning purpose is still alive, and destiny is still in motion. As long as that heart beats what I planted in you has not died. You are not alone in a cold universe. You are connected to the source of all life. Rest in this, I am closer than your breath. And you are being held by the same hands that shape the galaxies. You have looked at the world around you and wondered why your path feels more treacherous than those around you. You see the wicked prosper in deceit. You see people who mock spiritual truth living with apparent ease. And you who strive to do right, who seek my face with sincerity, meet obstacle after obstacle. You have cried out in the middle of your trials, "Why me, Lord? Why must I fight for every inch while others glide?" Here is the answer, simple, sharp, and life-changing it is, because you are chosen. You are not an accidental participant in this life. You are an assignment. You are a vessel with purpose. The enemy does not waste resources attacking an empty house. He targets the dwelling he knows contains treasure. He has pressed against you not because you are weak, but because he is afraid of what I placed inside you. The resistance you face is not proof you are losing it, is proof you carry weight. Your life has an anointing to shift atmospheres, to break patterns that have ruled your bloodline, to bring light where darkness has grown comfortable. That is why the pressure has been intense. Consider a diamond. It begins as common carbon, indistinguishable from coal, until it meets heat and pressure deep in the hidden places. Without that pressure, it never reflects. Without that refining, it never cuts. And you, my child, are in the middle of refinement. Every betrayal, every setback, every lonely night. None of it has been random. I have used what tried to crush you as a tool to shape you. I have been shaving away old fears, old dependence, old identity, revealing the steadiness and authority that were always meant to lead. What the enemy meant to reduce you, I have used to reveal you. Do not envy the easy path, because those who only walk on level ground never build the strength to climb. You have been prepared for a higher assignment, one that requires endurance comfort cannot produce. I allowed fire near you, not to consume you, but to make you fireproof. I allowed storms not to drown you, but to teach you how to stand in the wind and still move forward with peace. Your struggle is not a sign of my absence. It is evidence of my investment. You are a high-value target in the spirit, because you are a high-priority vessel in my kingdom. Stand tall in this. The size of what has fought you is only a preview of the size of what I am about to reveal through you. Type "I am chosen" in the comments. Now seal it in the earth and let heaven record your agreement. You have lived in what I call your hidden season for far too long. Like a seed buried beneath the soil, you endured darkness and silence, and wondered if you would ever see the light again. You walked through your personal wilderness, a place that felt isolated, where resources appeared and vanished, and where prayers seemed to strike a ceiling of brass. But I want you to understand the purpose of that isolation. In the wilderness, away from applause and distraction, you learned to distinguish my whisper from the roar of your anxiety. In the dark, your roots grew deep. Your faith was strengthened where no one could see it. The soil felt heavy because it was protecting you while you were still fragile. but you have matured. You have outgrown the shell of your old life. Now hear my sovereign announcement. The wilderness season is ending. The hidden season is closing. And I have been confirming it quietly, consistently, in ways your spirit recognizes even when your mind questions it. You may have noticed patterns that follow you, moments that repeat, reminders that arrive at the exact right time, words that confirm each other without coordination, a scripture that finds you again and again, a peace that settles on you without explanation. These are not accidents. These are confirmations. They are my way of telling you the alignment is completing and the gate is opening. You are not losing your mind. You are learning my rhythm. And when I confirm a thing, it is because it is already in motion. Can you feel the atmosphere shifting? The air is different, charged with expectation. The thick cloud of confusion that hung over you is breaking at the horizon. A new dawn is rising, and it carries clarity you have not felt in years. You have been in a season of pruning where it felt like things were being taken, but that pruning was making room for expansion. I do not remove without replacing. I do not close without opening. I do not prune without fruit. The shifting of seasons in the spirit is not negotiable. Winter gives way to spring. Night gives way to morning. And your season of lack is yielding to a new season of provision and restoration. Prepare your heart, because the landscape of your life is about to change with a speed that will leave you stunned with gratitude. The wait is ending. The movement has begun. Think back to the opportunities that seemed to slip through your fingers over the past year. I know you remember the sting of the jobs you weren't hired for, the relationships that withered despite your efforts, and the plans that crumbled right when you thought they were about to bloom. In those moments, you looked up and called it silence. You wondered if I turned away from your most earnest prayers. But today, I am pulling back the veil to show you the truth. Those closed doors were not failures. They were protection. I closed them because behind them were traps that would have drained you, delayed you, or destroyed you. I removed certain people because they were not equipped to walk where I am taking you next. I allowed some plans to collapse because they were too small for the destiny I have prepared for you. What you called loss, I called mercy. What you called rejection, I called redirection. My no was not punishment, it was preservation. Understand this. I have never been interested in giving you a temporary blessing that leaves you fragile afterward. I am building a vessel that can sustain glory. I delayed what you demanded because the version of you from a year ago was not yet ready to carry what is coming without being crushed by it. If I had handed you the platform, the money, the exposure, or the influence back then, and the weight of it would have tested your character beyond what you could endure. So I used the waiting as a construction site, not a prison. I strengthened foundations. I healed cracks. I taught discernment. I built endurance. I was not slow. I was precise. I was not absent. I was arranging. And now you are standing at a threshold that required this delay to be perfect. Your patience has been an investment, and the return is near. I am never late. I am never careless. And I am about to prove my timing in a way that will silence every fear that tried to mock you. So stay close, because the next instructions matter. Press like and subscribe now as your seal of alignment, your signal that you are staying under this covering. And do not drift away in this moment, because if you leave this flow too soon, you may miss the specific direction I am about to release for your next level. The delay was not denial, it was design. And what I designed is about to unfold. Look deeply within and acknowledge the quiet evolution that has been taking place in the chambers of your heart. You are not the same person you were a year ago. Something has shifted in you, subtle, sacred, and undeniable. You have become more tranquil, more poised, more centered. You have learned the holy art of release, letting go of people patterns and attachments that were never meant to occupy your next season. I have watched you begin to crave the beauty of silence over the hollow noise of crowds. You traded impulsiveness for patience. You traded reaction for discernment. This transformation did not arrive with applause. It happened in the hidden place, through prayer, through tears, through the quiet decision to choose peace over being right. And yes, this is spiritual, but it is also energetic. Because when I touch the heart, I recalibrate the field around it. What you call your inner atmosphere has been changing. The frequency of your soul has been rising not into pride, but into alignment. Your nervous system has been learning what the scriptures have always said, that peace is a guard and the mind can be renewed. You have been living the truth of that renewal in real time. Though your outward self may feel worn under pressure, your inner spirit is being renewed day by day. I am restructuring your spiritual DNA, reweaving resilience, wisdom, and holy confidence into the fabric of your being. I am upgrading the internal operating system of your mind, replacing corrupted files of fear, scarcity, and self-contempt with a new program of kingdom authority and covenant identity. Old habits that once held you captive are losing their grip. Ancient fears that once paralyzed you in the dark are beginning to wither. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. And as that inner rebuild happens, your light changes. The way you carry yourself changes. The way you walk into rooms changes. The way you breathe changes. You are becoming what I designed you to be, a vessel that can contain blessing without being controlled by it, strong enough to sustain elevation, clean enough to reflect truth, steady enough to hold peace even when the world shakes. This is what some would call a light body, not a fantasy, but a visible radiance that comes when the spirit is aligned and the heart is no longer ruled by fear. You are being tuned like an instrument until your life resonates with heaven instead of chaos. Many people chase external upgrades, more money, a bigger house, a higher title, without realizing the external world mirrors the internal landscape. But I have been changing the inner landscape first. And because the inside is shifting, the outside will follow. The world around you will begin to respond to the new vibration of your decisions, because you are no longer reacting from panic. You are choosing from peace. You are moving from discernment. You are acting from alignment. And alignment carries power. Feel the weight of this new authority settling on your shoulders, not heavy like burden, but steady like calling. You are walking with a new gait, speaking with a new clarity, seeing with new eyes. This quiet transformation is your greatest victory, because it is the prerequisite for the public miracle that is now approaching your doorstep. What was hidden is becoming visible. What was internal is becoming undeniable. And what was once only prayer is beginning to take shape in the natural. The world has spent a lifetime training you to believe you must fight for every scrap of survival hustle until your soul is depleted. Compete until your peace is gone. Climb until your heart forgets how to breathe. But in my kingdom, elevation follows different laws. Promotion does not come from frantic striving. It comes from alignment. It comes from surrender. It comes from the quiet authority of a heart that trusts me more than it trusts the system. You have reached the edge of your own strength, and that edge is not your end. It is the doorway where my power begins to move with sovereignty. I am shifting you out of the grind and into the flow, out of panic and into peace, out of exhausting effort and into kingdom order. And in that flow, one divine moment can accomplish what decades of human labor could not. This breakthrough will not arrive through the channels you've been staring at. It will not come simply because you added more hours, more pressure, more calculations. It will come because I am moving behind what you can see. I am orchestrating holy alignments, moments that look like coincidence to the mind, but feel like confirmation to the spirit. I am placing an idea in you, swift and bright, like lightning arriving in an ordinary moment, a shower, a quiet walk, a breath between tasks. And that one spark will unlock a treasury you didn't know was within reach. I am also moving people you have never met to speak your name in rooms you have not yet entered. I am bypassing gatekeepers. I am overriding doubt. I am redirecting timelines. I am opening paths that do not require your striving, only your readiness. And when it unfolds, you will know it was not human power, because the pattern will be too precise, too timed, too perfect for anyone else to take the credit. Now listen closely, because I am releasing a prophetic sign, not to make you anxious, but to make you aware. Watch for the returning connection. Watch for the reopening. Watch for the unexpected message that finds you at the right moment, someone from a past season. Someone you did not expect, someone whose name you haven't heard in a long time. Not by accident, not by chance, by assignment. They will carry a piece of information, a recommendation, a door, a link, a location, a first domino. And when it falls, it will begin to shake the wall you thought would never move. This is sudden provision, not magic, but movement. Not fantasy, but alignment. Heaven rearranging what earth called stuck. So hold your peace. Keep your heart open. Stay sensitive. Because the path is being cleared, and the resources are already being redirected toward your doorstep. Are you tired of explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you? I have seen the exhaustion in your eyes, the way you keep trying to prove your worth to hearts that already decided to doubt you. I have watched you spend precious energy defending your character against accusations that were never meant to be solved by arguments. But hear me stop. From this moment on, I am granting you quiet authority. You are entering a season where your words will be fewer, but your impact will be greater. You will not need to shout to be heard, because I am making your presence weighty with favor. Your silence will carry more power than their noise. Your calm will speak louder than their accusations. You do not have to fight for a seat at their table when I am establishing a wider territory for you. One they cannot control, one they cannot close. From this day forward, you will no longer feel the itch to argue, to prove, to explain, to perform. I am lifting the burden of defense off your shoulders and placing it onto mine. I am your vindicator. My justice is cleaner than a comeback, stronger than a debate, and lasting beyond a moment. While they rehearse your past, I will be arranging your future. While they whisper about your failures, I will be aligning your promotion. And you will be able to remain still, not because you are weak, but because you finally know who stands behind you. Quiet authority carries a different energy. It is the peace of a child who knows their father owns the world. It is the steadiness of a soul that no longer lives on the approval of people. It is the inner posture that says, I don't need to win the argument, because heaven is already moving the outcome. And yes, those who laughed when you fell, those who spoke behind your back in your lowest season, are about to witness something they cannot explain. They will watch doors open for you that they could not open for themselves. They will see you placed in rooms they assumed were inaccessible. Not as revenge, but as revelation. Your success will not be a weapon. It will be a mirror. It will reflect my glory, and it will expose their error without you ever having to speak a single "I told you so." This vindication is not coming someday. It is already unfolding in secret, being built in the unseen before it becomes visible in the natural. So remain calm. Stay clean in heart. Keep your hands steady. Quiet authority is yours now. I am opening the eyes of your spirit to see beyond the veil of this physical world. For too long you have been navigating by what your natural eyes perceive: the obstacles, the closed doors, and the faces of those who claim to be for you, but harbor shadows in their hearts. But today, I am granting you a supernatural sharpness, a divine clarity that the world cannot understand. I am giving you the eyes of an eagle to soar far above the murky clouds of confusion and deception. From this higher perspective, you will begin to see the hidden patterns and the secret motives that were once invisible to you. You will no longer be blindsided by the sudden storms of life, because I am training you to sense the shift in the spiritual atmosphere before the first drop of rain even falls. This is my gift to you, the ability to see the truth as I see it. From this moment forward, you will possess a profound sensitivity to the spirits of those around you. When a lie is whispered in your presence, it will resonate with a jarring, discordant note in your soul. You will recognize falsehood, even when it is wrapped in the most beautiful and sophisticated language. I am giving you the power to see through the masks that people wear, not so that you may judge them, but so that you may protect the precious treasure I have placed within you. You will no longer be a victim of manipulation or the schemes of those who seek to use your kindness for their own gain. I am placing a spiritual filter over your ears and your heart, allowing only that which is pure and aligned with my will to take root. You are becoming a master of discernment, moving through this world with a wisdom that is centuries deep. When an opportunity presents itself to you, you will no longer have to agonize over whether to move forward or stay still. I am refining your intuition until it becomes the clear, unmistakable echo of my own voice within you. You will know instantly if a path is a wide road leading to a trap or a narrow gate leading to your promised land. Trust that sudden knowing in your gut. Trust that inexplicable sense of peace, or that subtle, persistent warning. That is not just a feeling. That is my spirit communicating directly with yours. I am leading you away from the glittering distractions that would waste your time, and toward the quiet, powerful assignments that will build your legacy. You are being guided by the hand of the infinite. And with this new discernment, you will never walk in darkness again. Your steps are now ordered, protected, and incredibly precise. This grace I am pouring into your life is of such a staggering, immense magnitude that it simply cannot be contained by one person alone. It is like a great reservoir that has reached its peak and must now overflow into the surrounding dry lands, bringing life to everything it touches. This blessing is reaching out right now in this very second to touch your parents, those who have spent countless sleepless nights praying for your safety and whose hearts have ached with a deep, silent worry for your future. I am bringing a peace to their souls that they have not felt in decades, a divine assurance that their prayers have been heard and that their child is finally safe in my hands. I am touching your children, even the ones not yet born, making the path straight before them, and opening massive doors to education, divine opportunities, and radiant futures that were once considered completely impossible by the standards of this world. You are not just receiving a blessing for yourself. You are becoming the sacred conduit through which a new glorious legacy is being born for your entire bloodline. I am the great healer, and I am currently moving with sovereign power through the fractured, dusty halls of your family history. I see the ancient grudges that have been passed down like poisoned heirlooms, the long-standing bitterness that has soured the air of your gatherings, and the silent, thick walls that have been built between hearts that were always meant to be united in love. I am breathing my spirit into those broken, hollow places right now, I am turning hearts of stone into hearts of soft living flesh. The prosperity and the peace I am bringing to you will not be a source of jealousy or division. Instead, it will be the divine catalyst for total reconciliation. Where there was once only the cold, biting wind of lack and the sharp, jagged edges of resentment, there will now be the radiant warmth of abundance and the soft, healing touch of forgiveness. You have been chosen for this specific moment to be the curse breaker of your family, the one who finally stands up and declares no more to the weary cycles of poverty, addiction, and despair that have haunted your ancestors. Know that the mantle I have placed upon your shoulders carries a heavy generational weight, but it is a weight of glory, not of burden. Every single step of faith you take, every yes you give to my calling, even when you are afraid, is securing a solid foundation for every person who shares your name. Your descendants will walk with ease on the roads you are currently paving with your tears, your sweat, and your supernatural endurance. They will not have to fight the same giants you are currently fighting because I am using you to slay those giants once and for all. Your family is being covered by the same protection that surrounds you, shielded by a hedge of fire that no enemy can penetrate. Relax your heart and trust me with their souls, just as you have learned to trust me with yours. The healing is already beginning in the invisible realm, and the total restoration of your household is my high priority. You are a royal priesthood, and from this day forward, your house shall be called a house of blessing and a sanctuary of my peace. Within the next 72 hours, I'm going to send you what I call a kiss from heaven. This is a tangible manifestation of my presence in your physical world. A divine wink to let you know that I am not just a distant concept or a silent observer, but a living, breathing reality walking right beside you in the trenches of your daily life. You may have felt like my work in your life had stalled or that my attention was elsewhere. But I am currently moving behind the heavy curtains of your reality, orchestrating events that you cannot yet see. I will arrange a moment so specific, so personal, and so perfectly timed that you will know without a single shadow of a doubt that it was designed by my hand just for you. This sign will not be loud booming or overwhelming. It will be a gentle, loving whisper to your spirit, a sovereign reassurance that I have heard every single one of your prayers, and that I am personally attending to the most minute details of your upcoming breakthrough. I am asking you to watch and wait with a heart filled with expectation, for I am coming to visit you in the ordinary moments of your day. Perhaps this sign will come through the airwaves as a song you haven't heard in years suddenly begins to play on the radio or through your headphones at the exact moment you need it most. The lyrics will not be accidental. They will carry a direct, pointed answer to the very problem that has been gnawing at your peace and keeping you awake at night. You will feel a sudden, radiant warmth in your chest as the melody hits your ears, and in that precise second, you will feel the heavy weight of your worry begin to lift, as if by invisible hands. Or perhaps I will send a complete stranger across your path, someone who knows absolutely nothing of your secret struggles or your silent tears. Yet they will look you directly in the eyes, smile with a knowing supernatural kindness, and speak a sentence that echoes exactly what you needed to hear. Everything is going to be okay. I am the master of all details, and I will use the mouth of another to confirm the promises I have already whispered into the depths of your own heart. Do not dismiss these moments as mere coincidences. They are sovereign appointments intended to anchor your faith. You may even find a small, unexpected token of my provision, a single coin, or a forgotten bill found in a place where it simply should not be. To the world, it is just a small piece of currency, but to you, it will be a prophetic seed of the abundance to come. It is my way of saying that the long season of famine is officially over, and that I am starting to restore everything the years of struggle have stolen from you. These kisses from heaven are deliberate reminders that I am closer to you than your own shadow, and more intimate with your needs than you are with yourself. I am meticulously rearranging the pieces of your life, like a grand master at a chessboard working tirelessly in the background to bring about a resolution that will leave you in absolute awe of my faithfulness. When you see these signs manifesting within the next 72 hours, I want you to take a deep, cleansing breath, whisper a heartfelt prayer of gratitude, and stand firm in the knowledge that your God is alive. He is here, and He is moving mountains on your behalf. I have laid before you a magnificent feast in the very presence of your enemies. I have pulled back the curtain of time to show you the glorious path leading to your vindication, your healing, and your unprecedented prosperity. I have whispered my secrets into your soul and demonstrated my power through the signs and wonders I have orchestrated in your path over these last few minutes. But now we have come to a sacred crossroads, a moment of profound cosmic weight, where your destiny hangs on a single conscious choice. You see, although I am the all-powerful creator of all that is, I have also gifted you with something incredibly precious and terrifyingly powerful, your own free will. I will never force my blessings upon a heart that is not willing to receive them. I will not drag you into a palace if you are determined to remain in the prison of your own making. The door is unlocked, the light is shining, but you are the one who must choose to walk through. In the ancient words of truth, it is recorded, "I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life that both you and your descendants may live." Today, in the year 2025, I am placing that same weight of decision directly into your hands. I am asking you to make a choice that goes beyond a mere intellectual agreement. I am not looking for a casual nod of the head or a shallow temporary excitement that fades when the video ends. I am asking for a yes that reverberates through the very foundations of your being, a yes that is a total radical commitment of your heart, mind, and soul. I am asking if you have the holy courage to believe in the impossible, even when your bank account is empty and your spirit feels heavy. I am asking if you are brave enough to step out of the familiar, comfortable cage of your suffering and walk into the vast, unknown territory of my promised land. I am waiting for your answer, my beloved child. The hosts of heaven have fallen silent, leaning in to hear the frequency of your response. Will you continue to agree with the labels the world has placed on you? Or will you come into agreement with what I have spoken over you today? Will you cling to the safety of your smallness? Or will you finally stretch out your hands to lay hold of the immense inheritance I have reserved for you? This is not just a decision for today. It is a decision for the rest of your life and the lives of those who will follow your name. The winds of shift are blowing, the gates of favor are open wide, and I am standing right here with my arms outstretched, ready to catch you if you leap. Say yes to the life I have prepared for you. Say yes to the abundance, the healing, and the peace. Your answer in this very moment is the final key that either locks the past behind you or opens the glorious future ahead. Close your eyes now, my precious one. Withdraw your focus from the distractions of the room and the noise of the outside world. Feel my presence, not as a distant thought, but as a tangible warm weight surrounding you, wrapping you in a blanket of divine safety. You are standing in a holy sanctuary of time, a moment carved out by my hand for your total restoration. Breathe in the air of heaven. It carries the scent of victory and the freshness of a new beginning. I am here right in this space with you, and I am about to place the final seal upon the transformation we have begun together today. Let every muscle in your body relax. Let every anxious thought dissolve into the ocean of my peace. Prepare your spirit to receive the ultimate decree of my love. Heavenly Father, I come before the throne of grace on behalf of this beloved soul who has stayed to the very end of this message. I decree and declare that every iron chain of debt, poverty, and lack that has bound their family for generations is shattered now by the power of my word. I release supernatural healing over every hidden wound in their soul and every ailment in their physical body. I declare that every weapon formed against them shall not prosper, and every plan of the enemy to steal their peace is canceled and rendered void. I seal this prophecy into their life with the seal of the Holy Spirit, ensuring that no thief can snatch away the seeds of favor I have planted today. Let the blessings of heaven pour down like torrential rain on parched land, turning their desert into a lush garden of prosperity, peace, and joy. This is not the end of our conversation. It is only the glorious beginning of the most vibrant chapter of your life. I am going before you to level every mountain of difficulty and to shatter every gate of bronze that has blocked your path. But to ensure this blessing is locked into your reality, you must perform one final act of spiritual agreement. Press the like button and subscribe to this channel right now as your final signature on this divine contract. Do not leave this fire until you have sealed it with your voice, because if you step out of this flow too soon, you may miss the exact instruction your spirit has been crying out for. Type Amen or It is done in the comments below to claim ownership of this prophecy forever. And turn on all notifications so when the next word is released, you do not miss the appointed moment heaven scheduled for you. Part 2 of this journey will carry the specific financial instructions and the names of the individuals I have assigned to help you ascend. I am not finished with you yet. The best is truly yet to come. I love you with an everlasting love, and I am with you always. Stop right where you are and silence the noise of the world around you, for I have intercepted your path with a divine purpose that cannot be ignored. This is not a random occurrence of technology, nor is it a mere coincidence of an algorithm reaching through your screen. This is a sovereign decree, a holy interruption meant specifically for your eyes at this exact second of your existence. I have watched you scroll through the endless void of information, searching for a sign, a glimmer of hope, or a reason to keep going when the weight of the world feels like it is crushing the very breath from your lungs. Do not click away, do not turn your head, and do not let the enemy whisper that this is for someone else. This message is the answer to the cry you whispered when you thought no one was listening. I have pulled you out of the crowd to speak directly into the depths of your spirit, because the season of your wandering is coming to an abrupt end. You are standing on the threshold of a shift so monumental that your mind cannot yet conceive the magnitude of what I am about to perform in your life. Listen closely to the sound of my voice, for within these words lies the key to the prison cell you have occupied for far too long. Your time of being overlooked and forgotten is over, and the era of your vindication has begun. I have seen you, my beloved child, in those quiet, agonizing moments that no other human being has witnessed. I saw you when you logged into your bank account and felt that sharp, cold sting of panic in your chest as you looked at the numbers that never seemed to be enough. I saw you hold your breath while waiting for a card to be accepted, praying that the transaction would go through so you wouldn't have to face the humiliation of a decline. I have watched you in the dead of night, when the house is silent and the darkness feels heavy, as you stared at the ceiling with tears tracking down your temples, wondering how you will pay the bills, how you will provide for your family, and how you will ever escape the suffocating cycle of debt that has haunted your bloodline for generations. I know the weight of every bill that sits on your counter unopened, because the sight of them makes your stomach turn. I have counted every sigh of exhaustion and every prayer for a miracle that you thought went unanswered. You have felt like a ghost in your own life, working 80 hours a week, only to find yourself further behind than when you started. But I am here to tell you that your silent suffering has reached my throne, and the tears you shed in secret have been collected in my bottle. You are not invisible to me. You are the focus of my divine favor, and the very things that have tried to break you are about to become the platform for my glory. In the moments that follow, I am going to reveal to you why the year 2026 is marked in the archives of heaven as the year of your total restoration, and the year where the words "God did it" will be the only explanation for the overflowing abundance that will flood your household. I am preparing a table for you in the presence of your creditors, and I am about to turn the "no" you have heard 1,000 times into a "yes" that cannot be revoked by any earthly power. But before I unlock the mysteries of this coming breakthrough and reveal the spiritual keys to your financial liberation, you must acknowledge my presence and signal your readiness to receive. This is your first act of faith. Do not let this moment pass without sealing your commitment to this journey. Stop now and type "I am here, Lord," or the number 7007 in the comments to open the gates of heaven over your life right now. By doing this, you are telling the atmosphere that you are no longer a victim, but a victor in training. Furthermore, I invite you to join this sacred family of believers by pressing the like button and subscribing to this channel immediately. This is not for my benefit, but for yours. It is a signal to the heavens that you are coming into alignment with the word I am speaking. If you miss this instruction, you risk missing the specific guidance I have for your destiny. Secure your place among the chosen ones now, for the scroll of your new life is being unrolled, and the billions I have set aside for my children are starting to move toward those who are listening. My precious child, I have walked through the corridors of your mind and felt the heavy iron chains that have bound your spirit for so many years. I see the invisible weight you carry every morning when you wake up, that instant pressure on your chest before you even open your eyes, reminding you of the debts that remain unpaid and the dreams that seem to be slipping through your fingers. I have watched you labor until your hands were weary and your soul was spent working 80 hours a week, sacrificing your time, your health, and your peace, only to find that at the end of the month, the numbers still do not add up. You have been running on a treadmill of survival, moving fast, but staying in the exact same place of lack. I see the exhaustion in your bones that sleep cannot fix. I see the way you look at others who seem to prosper so effortlessly, while you struggle for every crumb, and the silent question that haunts you. Why me, Lord? Why is it always so hard for me? Know this, I have heard that question in every tear that fell on your pillow last night. I am not distant from your struggle. I am the witness to your perseverance in the midst of a drought that would have broken anyone else. I see the generational patterns that have tried to define your existence. I saw your parents struggle with the same spirit of insufficiency, and I see how that same shadow has tried to follow you into your adulthood. It is a hereditary shackle, a cycle of just enough or not enough, that has kept your lineage in a state of perpetual wandering. I see the moments when you look at your children and feel a pang of fear, wondering if they too will inherit this burden of debt and this constant anxiety over the basic necessities of life. You have felt like you were born under a clouded sky where the sun of my favor was meant for everyone but you. But I am reaching into that history right now to break the link. I see the red ink on the notices that fill your mailbox, and I see the way you avert your eyes because the shame is too much to bear. Do not hide from me, for I am the God who sees Hagar in the desert and the widow with the last bit of oil. Your struggle is not a sign of my absence. It is the evidence that the enemy is terrified of the wealth that is rightfully yours, and he has used these financial shackles to keep you too tired to claim your throne. I see you in the grocery store, discreetly counting the items in your cart, doing the mental math with a trembling heart, fearing the moment you reach the register. I see the quiet humiliation you feel when you have to say no to your children's simple requests because the budget simply won't stretch another inch. I see the way you have isolated yourself from friends and family because you cannot afford to join them, and the loneliness has become a secondary prison. These are not just financial problems. They are wounds on your soul. I see the midnight cries when you are all alone, when the mask of "I'm doing okay" finally falls off, and you crumble under the realization that you are one emergency away from total collapse. I have seen you standing in that darkness, looking at the bills spread out on your table like a battlefield of defeats. But hear my voice whispering into that darkness: the chains are not permanent. The shackles were designed to hold a slave, but I have called you a king and a priest. The very poverty that tried to consume you is being dismantled by my hand at this very moment. You have been in a season of hiddenness and crushing, but remember that the olive must be crushed to produce the oil, and the grape must be pressed to become the wine. I have allowed you to see the bottom so that you would know I am the rock upon which you stand. I see your faithfulness even when you had nothing to give. I see the way you still tried to be a blessing to others while your own house was in disarray. This character you have built in the furnace of lack is the very foundation I need to pour out the billions that are coming. You are being prepared to handle the weight of a blessing that would have crushed the person you used to be. Every midnight cry has been a seed planted in the soil of your future. The harvest of 2026 is growing from the tears of today. Do not give up now, for the sound of the chains breaking is already echoing in the spiritual realm. I am the God who destroys the yoke, and I am starting with the yoke of debt that has strangled your joy for far too long. I have seen the invisible scars that poverty has carved into your dignity, my child. I know the sharp, cold sensation that grips your heart every time you stand at a checkout counter, that physical tightness in the left side of your chest as you prepare to swipe your card. It is a moment of suspended breath, a silent plea to the heavens that the machine will not beep with the sound of rejection. I have seen you look down at your hands, trembling slightly, as you try to maintain a mask of composure while the person behind you, in line, grows impatient. That humiliation is not hidden from me. I have felt the sting of every judgmental glance you imagined others were giving you, and I have heard the lies the enemy whispers in those moments, telling you that you are a failure, that you are less than, and that you will always be defined by the balance in your account. But I am here to tell you that your value is not printed on a bank statement. You are gold that has been dragged through the mud, but the mud does not change the nature of the gold. I am the one who gives you true worth, and I am about to wash away the stains of this season's shame with a flood of my favor. I have walked with you through the aisles of stores during the holidays and birthdays, watching as you looked at the toys and gifts you wished you could buy for your children. I saw the way your heart broke when you had to steer them away from the things they desired, making up excuses about why now isn't the right time, while deep inside you felt a crushing sense of inadequacy. I know the pain of a parent who wants to give the world to their offspring, but feels as though they are offering them only stones. I have seen you hide in the bathroom to cry so they wouldn't see your weakness, trying to keep the magic of childhood alive while your own world felt like it was falling apart. This specific brand of sorrow, this feeling of being unable to provide, is a weight I never intended for you to carry alone. I was there in the room when you counted your pennies, and I was there when you skipped a meal so they could have seconds. Your sacrifice has not gone unnoticed in the courts of heaven. The shame you feel today is being transformed into a testimony that will bring tears of joy to those same children in 2026 when they see the abundance I am preparing to pour through your hands. I have observed the shifting shadows in your social circles, the way the invitations slowly stopped coming and the phone grew silent. I saw the bitterness that tried to take root when you realized that some people only wanted to be around you when your table was full. but vanished as soon as the drought began. You have felt the sting of being the friend in need, the one people pity, but no longer include. I saw you sitting at home while others celebrated, feeling like there was an invisible wall between you and the rest of the world. A wall built of unpaid bills and broken dreams. You have felt the embarrassment of wearing the same worn-out clothes to every gathering, hoping no one would notice the fraying edges of your life. But hear me now, I have allowed this isolation to protect you. I have been pruning the branches of your life, so that only those who truly love your soul will remain to witness your rise. The people who turn their backs on your struggle will not be able to claim credit for your success. I am stripping away the false support systems of man, so that when the breakthrough comes, you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was not by their power, but by my spirit. Now, my beloved, I want you to do something very specific. I want you to stop and place your right hand over that place in your chest where the anxiety lives, that spot that feels tight whenever you think about your future. Close your eyes and feel my presence surrounding you like a warm, protective mantle. Take a deep, slow breath, and as you exhale, I want you to release all the bitterness, all the if-onlys, and all the poison of humiliation that you have swallowed over the years. Breathe out the shame of every decline notice and every no you've ever had to say. Let it go into my hands. I am taking the weight of that lack off your shoulders right now. You are being hollowed out so that you can be filled with something much greater than survival. You are being prepared for a level of influence and wealth that requires a heart free from the weights of the past. As you breathe, feel the frequency of your spirit shifting from victim to victor. The desert is behind you, and the gates of 2026 are already beginning to swing open. I have seen you standing on the sidelines of your own life, watching as the world moves forward in a blur of progress while you feel anchored to the same spot of stagnation. I have watched you scroll through the highlights of others, people who seem to possess half your talent and a fraction of your integrity. As they announce their new homes, their thriving businesses, and their sudden windfalls. I have seen the way your heart sinks when you see another peer receive the very promotion you were more qualified for, or the way you watch a friend's investment skyrocket while yours remains dormant or disappears. You have walked through this wilderness of missed opportunities for years, wondering if you are cursed, if I have forgotten the path to your door, or if you are simply not meant for greatness. You have felt like a spectator in a game you were born to play, and the frustration has begun to turn into a quiet, poisonous bitterness that whispers, "It's too late for me. The window has closed." But listen to me. My chosen one, that invisible wall you have been hitting, is not a barrier of your own making, nor is it a sign of my rejection. It was a hedge of protection I placed around you because you were not yet ready for the weight of the blessing that is coming. I saw the opportunities that would have destroyed you if I had let them through. I saw the partnerships that looked like gold, but were actually traps for your soul. I saw the doors that opened into rooms full of people who would have used your gifts and discarded your spirit. I blocked those paths because I love you too much to let you be consumed by a success that would have outpaced your character. You have felt like you were falling behind, but in my kingdom, the last shall be first. I have been holding you back in the shadows, refining your heart and tempering your spirit, so that when I finally release you into the abundance of 2026, you will have the foundation to sustain it. You are not late. You are being prepared for a divine appointment that no man can cancel. I know the exhaustion of being the one with potential who never seems to reach the prize. I have seen you try to force doors open with your own strength, only to have them slam shut in your face, leaving your hands bruised and your spirit broken. You have asked me why I have made it so hard for you, why I have allowed the desert to be so long and the water to be so scarce. It is because I am not just giving you a breakthrough. I am giving you a legacy. A cheap success can be won by anyone, but a divine inheritance requires a wilderness season. The very opportunities you think you missed were actually diversions that would have kept you from the billions I am preparing to release. I have watched you weep over what you lost. But I am the God who restores the years the locusts have eaten. I am the architect of time, and I am currently recalibrating the universe to align your steps with a wealth transfer that will make all your previous missed chances look like grains of sand compared to the ocean. Right now, I want you to perform a prophetic act of release. Place your hand on your heart and take a deep, cleansing breath. As you exhale, let go of every ounce of resentment toward those who succeeded while you waited. Let go of the anger you feel toward the lucky ones. This is not weakness, this is preparation. Because your hands must be empty of old disappointments if they are to grasp the keys to the kingdom. Do not skip this moment. If you drift away now, you may miss the exact turning point I am placing in front of you. Subscribe to this channel right now, not as a casual click, but as a covenant marker that you are staying under these words until the wall breaks and the gate opens. Stay close, my child. The desert is ending. The door you thought you missed is being replaced with a door no one can shut. You have often wondered why, despite your best efforts, there is a constant resistance pushing back against you. You feel as though you are swimming against a current that never tires, or as if there is a shadow just out of your peripheral vision, sabotaging your plans the moment they begin to take root. This is not your imagination, and it is not a string of bad luck. You are in the midst of a spiritual battle, a conflict that began long before you were born. There is an invisible enemy who sees the light I have placed within you, and that enemy is terrified of what happens when you finally step into your authority. He does not attack the ordinary. He attacks the extraordinary. He does not waste his arrows on those who are no threat to his kingdom of darkness. If you have felt the heat of the fire, it is because you are carrying something precious, a divine seed that has the power to dismantle strongholds. The resistance you face is the greatest evidence of the magnitude of your calling. The enemy isn't trying to stop who you are. He is trying to stop who you are becoming. I want you to understand why the attack has been so concentrated on your finances. The enemy knows that wealth in the hands of a righteous child of mine is a weapon of mass destruction against poverty, lack, and suffering. He knows that if you are blessed, you will feed the hungry, you will house the homeless, and you will fund the expansion of my kingdom. By keeping you in a state of financial survival, he hopes to keep you distracted, discouraged, and defeated. He wants your mind so consumed with how to pay the electric bill that you have no room to dream the billion-dollar dreams I have placed in your spirit. He uses the spirit of lack as a muzzle to silence your testimony. But I am the Lord of hosts, and I have seen every trap he has set for you. Every check is in the mail that never arrived, every deal that fell through at the last second. I have recorded it all. And I am telling you now, his time of harassing your inheritance is coming to an end. The very area where you have been most attacked is the area where my glory will be most revealed. There is a hatred that the darkness has for the light you carry. Have you noticed how people sometimes react to you with hostility for no reason at all? How doors seem to close even when you have done everything right? It is because the spirit within you shines with an intensity that exposes the darkness around you. You are a chosen one, marked by my seal. And that seal is visible in the spiritual realm. The enemy hates the way you still pray when you are hurting. He hates the way you still give when you are in lack. He hates your resilience. But listen to me. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. I have allowed the enemy to see your struggle, but I have hidden your victory. He thinks he has you cornered in this season of debt and difficulty. But he does not realize he is merely watching your training ground. I am using his attacks to make you fireproof. By the time you reach 2026, you will walk through the fire of financial transition and not even smell like smoke. If you can feel the truth of this revelation vibrating in your spirit, do not let this moment of clarity slip away. This is a divine appointment, and you must respond while the window is open, because some instructions are missed simply by delay. Press like now. Let that be your quiet yes in the natural. And write in the comments, I am chosen or 757. Seal it on earth so heaven can record your agreement. Do not drift away in this moment, because if you scroll past while your spirit is being awakened, you may miss the next step I'm about to reveal. The shadows may be long, but they are only shadows. They have no substance compared to the solid rock of my promise. I am the light that the darkness cannot comprehend. When I speak, the foundations of the enemy's strongholds tremble. I am speaking over your bank account today. I am speaking over your credit score. I am speaking over the debt that has felt like a mountain in your path. I say to that mountain, be removed and cast into the sea. The era of the enemy's interference is being overruled by a higher court, the court of heaven. You are no longer a victim of spiritual warfare. You are the commander of my blessings. Prepare your heart, for as we move toward the mysteries of 2026, the darkness will be forced to give back sevenfold everything it has stolen from you. I have looked deep into the roots of the family tree from which you have grown, my child. I have seen the invisible threads of lack and struggle that have been woven through your lineage for decades, perhaps even centuries. I saw your father's father laboring under the same sun of insufficiency. And I saw your mother's mother counting pennies with the same anxious heart that beats within you today. This spirit of poverty is not a stranger to your bloodline. It is a squatter that has occupied your family's house for far too long, passing its heavy, rusted keys from one generation to the next. You have inherited a debt that you did not sign for a spiritual deficit that has made every step of your journey feel twice as heavy as it should be. You have wondered why, no matter how hard you work or how much you save, there is always a sudden emergency, a broken appliance, or an unexpected bill that drains your reservoir just as it begins to fill. This is the poverty yoke, a spiritual mechanism designed to keep your family in a state of perpetual wandering, never allowed to enter the land of more than enough. A yoke is a wooden beam used to pair oxen together, forcing them to pull a load that is far greater than their own weight. The enemy has placed a financial yoke upon your neck, tying you to the failures and the limitations of those who came before you. It is a yoke of just getting by, a yoke of not for people like us, and a yoke of survival at all costs. I have seen you tugging against this weight, trying to run toward the dreams I have placed in your soul, only to be jerked back by the chains of ancestral patterns. You have felt the shame of your ancestors as if it were your own, and you have unconsciously adopted their language of lack, saying, I can't afford it, before you even check with me. But hear the sound of my voice vibrating through the foundations of your history. I am the great deliverer, and I am here with a holy hammer to shatter that yoke into 1,000 pieces. The cycle of generational poverty is not a life sentence. It is a stronghold that is about to be demolished by the power of my decree. You are the one I have chosen to be the cycle breaker. Do you understand the magnitude of your position? I did not choose your siblings or your cousins for this specific task. I chose you because I saw a spark of resilience in your spirit that the fire could not put out. You are the Gideon of your family, the one called to tear down the altars of lack that your forefathers built. Every time you refuse to give up, every time you pray, despite the empty cupboards, and every time you choose integrity over a dishonest dollar, you are weakening the chains that have bound your bloodline. You are not just working for your own bank account. You are working to ensure that your children and your children's children will never know the taste of the bitterness you have swallowed. I am rewriting your family's financial script. Where there was a history of bankruptcy, I am writing a future of philanthropy. Where there was a legacy of debt, I am establishing a kingdom of inheritance. The buck stops with you, and the blessing starts with you. Right now, in this sacred atmosphere of revelation, I am performing a spiritual surgery on your lineage. I am severing the umbilical cord of lack that has fed your family for generations. I am draining the poison of never enough and filling your veins with the golden oil of my abundance. This is why your struggle has been so intense lately. The enemy knows that if he can't stop you, he loses the entire family line. But he has already lost. As we move closer to the promised restoration of 2026, you will see the atmosphere of your home shift. The poverty yoke is being replaced by my easy yoke and my light burden. You will no longer labor for the wind. Every seed you plant from this moment forward will produce a harvest that remains. Take a deep breath and feel the lightness entering your shoulders. The weight of your ancestors is falling off. You are walking into a new day where the only thing you owe is love. My beloved, do you truly understand what it means to be the chosen one in this hour? It is not a title of comfort, nor is it a badge of easy privilege. To be chosen by me is to be hand-picked for a specific purpose that requires a specific kind of strength, a strength that can only be forged in the hottest of fires. I have watched you look at others who seem to coast through life with minimal effort, and I have heard your heart cry out, "Lord, why is my road so rugged? Why must I fight for every inch of ground I gain?" I tell you today that the intensity of your battle is the direct measurement of the magnitude of your destiny. I did not choose you because you were the most perfect or the most qualified by human standards. I chose you because I saw a spirit within you that would not bow to the spirit of the age. You have been set apart for a wealth transfer that would destroy a lesser soul. This season of hardship was not an accident. It was a divine isolation, a holy separation intended to remove the distractions of the world, so that you could finally hear my heartbeat. You are not being rejected. You are being reserved for a glory that the world has not yet seen. I am the Lord, and there is no other. I have called you by your name, though you have often felt like a nameless face in a sea of suffering. Hear the decree I have written over your life. For I am the God who goes before you to level the mountains and break in pieces the gates of bronze. I am the one who cuts through the bars of iron that have held your inheritance captive. I have promised to give you the treasures of darkness and the hidden riches of secret places, so that you may know that I, the Lord, am the God who calls you by name. Think about that for a moment, my child. Why would I hide treasures in the darkness? Why would riches be found in secret, hidden places? It is because I have tucked away your greatest blessings in the very seasons and situations that the world fears most. The treasures are not found on the surface where everyone can see them. They are buried deep in the soil of your endurance. The darkness you have been walking through, the uncertainty, the debt, the loneliness, is actually the vault where I have been storing the capital for your 2026 breakthrough. I am the potter, and you are the clay. I have been molding your capacity so that when I pour out the hidden riches, you will have the strength to carry them without breaking under the weight of the blessing. You must shift your perspective right now, for the way you view your struggle determines the speed of your exit. You have felt like you were being punished, as if you had done something so terrible that I had turned my face away. But I tell you, you are not being punished. You are being trained. Punishment is for the criminal, but training is for the champion. A soldier is not sent to the front lines without the rigors of boot camp, and a ruler is not given a kingdom without first learning to manage a household. Your hidden season has been your divine construction site. I have been building the character, the resilience, and the spiritual stamina you will need to manage the billions that are being redirected toward my people. If I had given you the abundance when you were still immature in your faith, it would have become your idol. I had to let the lack strip away everything you relied on except for me. Now that you have learned to find your peace in the midst of the storm, you are ready to be the steward of the harvest. The seal of the chosen is upon your brow, and it is a mark of authority that even the demons of debt must respect. I am marking you this day with a fresh anointing that will attract the treasures of darkness to your doorstep. You are entering a phase where your prayers will no longer be pleas for survival, but decrees of a sovereign. The same voice that called the light out of the void is now calling the provision out of the shadows for you. You are the chosen one, and your standing in my kingdom is secure. Do not let the lies of the enemy tell you that you are falling behind. You are exactly where I need you to be for the great alignment. This is your Isaiah season where the gates are being flung open and the wealth of nations is starting to turn toward those who have remained faithful in the secret place. If you believe that your status has shifted from a victim of lack to a steward of hidden riches, do not stay silent. This is the moment to activate your faith and affirm my truth in your life. Type I believe or 1111 in the comments right now to signal to the spiritual realm that you are stepping into your true identity as the chosen one. By speaking this truth, you are locking in the revelation I have given you. Stand tall, for the God of the hidden riches is standing with you, and your victory is written in the stars. My beloved child, you have often looked at the ticking of the clock and the turning of the calendar with a sense of dread, feeling as though time is a predator, chasing you toward an uncertain end. But I am the Alpha and the Omega, the one who sits outside of time and sees the end from the beginning. I have heard your heart ask, why 2026? Why must the wait be so long? Hear me now. 2026 is not a random number in the sequence of years. It is a divine coordinate, a season of jubilee, and a year of spiritual alignment that I have carved out for your specific deliverance. In my kingdom, there are cycles, rhythms of 7 that govern the earth and the heavens. You are currently finishing a cycle of 7 years of intense testing and refinement. This period was necessary to prune the branches of your life that were dead and to strengthen the roots that were shallow. As we approach 2026, the frequency of the earth is shifting, and I am recalibrating your soul to resonate with the vibration of my abundance. You are being moved from a frequency of survival to a frequency of sovereign supply. The world around you is entering a season of great shaking. You see the headlines, and you feel the tremors of uncertainty in the global systems. Those who have built their empires on greed, manipulation, and the exploitation of the humble are being called to a divine account. I am the righteous judge, and I have seen the way the systems of man have tried to squeeze the life out of my chosen ones. But while the world sees chaos, I am orchestrating a great wealth transfer. The wealth of the wicked has been stored up for the righteous, but it cannot be released until the righteous have the frequency to receive it. If I gave you the billions while you were still vibrating at the level of not enough, you would lose it all in a moment of fear. This is why I am adjusting your frequency now. I am removing the static of anxiety and the noise of doubt so that you can hear the precise instructions I will give you for the new economy. By 2026, the old systems will no longer hold power over you, for you will be operating under a heavenly mandate that is independent of earthly fluctuations. This brings me to a critical moment in our conversation. You cannot enter a 2026 reality while holding on to a 2024 mindset. To receive the new wine, you must become a new wineskin. And if you can feel this frequency shift happening within your spirit, even as I speak, if you can sense the warmth of my presence replacing the cold chill of financial fear, then understand what that means. Alignment is already in motion. You are not merely hearing words. You are being tuned. You are being prepared. You are being positioned to carry what would have crushed the old version of you. This is not a casual moment. It is a threshold. The year 2026 will be the year of the great pivot. I am preparing to move you from the back of the line to the front of the room. I am adjusting your eyes to see opportunities that others will miss in their panic. While others see a wall, you will see a door. While others see a drought, you will see a hidden spring. This frequency adjustment is making you invisible to the spirit of debt and visible to the spirit of favor. You are being fireproofed against the coming economic shifts. Everything that has been stolen from you during this 7-year cycle is being gathered in the storehouses of heaven, gaining interest and awaiting the appointed hour. Your endurance has not been in vain. It has been the price of your promotion. Trust my timing, for I am never late, and I am currently working behind the scenes to move people, policies, and resources into place for your benefit. The countdown to your total restoration has begun, and the frequency of 2026 is already beginning to hum in your spirit. Pay attention, my child, for I am beginning to speak to you in a language that transcends human speech. I am whispering to you through the very fabric of your daily life, using signs and wonders to confirm that you are on the right path and that the promised shift is closer than you think. You have already started to notice it, the strange coincidences that aren't coincidences at all, the way certain numbers seem to follow you from your clock to your receipts, the way the air feels charged with a peculiar electricity when you think about your future. I am using these digital and physical markers to bypass your logical mind and speak directly to your spirit. When you see the numbers 444, know that I am surrounding you with my heavenly hosts, guarding your finances and your family from every hidden snare. When you see 888, it is the signature of my infinity and the announcement of a new beginning, a resurrection of the dreams you thought were dead, and a pouring out of resources that have no end. These are not mere accidents of math. They are my fingerprints on the timeline of your life, signaling that the gates of 2026 are already starting to hum with the frequency of your arrival. Listen with the ears of your heart, for you may soon hear the faint, clear sound of a bell ringing when there is no bell present, or a sudden harmonious frequency that seems to vibrate in your inner ear. Do not be afraid of these sounds. They are the chimes of the celestial clock, announcing that your time of waiting is expiring. I am also preparing a very specific sign for you involving a stranger. In the coming days, someone you do not know may approach you or call you by a name that is not yours. They may seem confused or apologetic, but pay close attention to the very next thing they say, even if it seems like a casual remark about the weather or a random suggestion. I will use the mouth of a stranger to drop a seed of direction into your soul. A hint, a business idea, or a word of encouragement that will serve as a missing piece of the puzzle for your financial breakthrough. I am using the unusual to break the monotony of your struggle. I am using the unexpected to show you that I am still the God of miracles, who can make a way where there is no way. There is a divine urgency in these signs, my beloved. They are coming to you now because the transition has already begun in the unseen realm, and I need your faith to be awake, to catch the wind of my spirit. You have spent so long in the silence that you have forgotten what it feels like to be guided by the miraculous. But I am recalibrating your senses to recognize my presence in the mundane. Look for the color purple in places it shouldn't be. Notice when a bird lands near you and stays longer than usual. These are my ways of saying I am here, I am working, and I have not forgotten the billions I promised to release to you. If you have been seeing these signs, or if you feel a holy shiver as I speak these words, it is because your spirit recognizes its creator. Do not let this moment of revelation dissolve into the fog of tomorrow. Hold it. Keep watching. Keep listening. The bells are ringing, the numbers are aligning, and the stranger is already on his way. Hear the sound of the gavel hitting the desk in the highest court of all, my child. I have looked at the ledgers of your life, and I have seen the red ink that has been bleeding into your peace of mind for years. Every interest rate that has compounded your stress, every late fee that has felt like a slap in the face, and every predatory loan that has kept you in a cycle of bondage is being brought before my throne for judgment. I do not just want to help you manage your debt. I am here to destroy it. I am the God who makes the crooked places straight and the rough places plain. In the spirit realm, the papers are being shredded. The signatures you made in moments of desperation when you felt you had no other choice are being erased by my hand. I have seen you stare at those numbers until they blurred, praying for a way out that seemed impossible. That way out, it is no longer a dream. It is a sovereign decree. By the time 2026 reaches its peak, the mountain of liability that has stood between you and your destiny will be leveled. You will not have to climb it. You will walk over the dust of what used to be your greatest fear. I want you to visualize a morning in the year 2026. You wake up without that familiar dull ache of anxiety in the pit of your stomach, the one that has greeted you every day for a decade. You reach for your phone not with dread, but with a strange, soaring sense of peace. You open the portal to your financial accounts, and where there was once a 5-figure or 6-figure burden that felt like an anchor around your neck, your eyes rest upon a simple, beautiful number 0. Perhaps this will manifest through a radical shift in global policies, a sudden inheritance from a source you never knew existed, or a clerical error that works in your favor and cannot be reversed because I have sealed it with my favor. Perhaps a debt collector will call you, but instead of a threat, they will offer a message that your account has been settled in full by a source they cannot disclose. I am currently moving the hearts of kings, the minds of bankers, and the hands of administrators to work on your behalf. You will look at the screen and blink, thinking it is a mistake. But then you will feel the heat of my spirit, confirming the truth. I have paid what you could not, and you are finally free. This is the annihilation of liability. It is the end of the season where you were a slave to the lender. I am breaking the spiritual contract that told you that you must suffer to survive, and that your worth was tied to what you owed. Debt was a chain used by the enemy to keep you anchored to a version of yourself that no longer exists, a version that was small, scared, and stagnant. But as you move toward this 2026 reality, you must no longer agree with the lack. Do not speak the language of poverty any longer. When the bills arrive in your mailbox tomorrow, do not look at them with fear. Look at them and say, "My Father has already signed the check." Your words are seeds, and you must plant seeds of abundance if you wish to walk in a harvest of total freedom. I am preparing your shoulders to carry the weight of the billions I am releasing. But I must first remove the weight of the debt that has been dragging you down. The transition is not coming. It has already begun in the atmosphere surrounding you. The spirit of cancellation is hovering over your household even as you hear these words. The gavel has fallen in the unseen. The chain is snapping in the spirit before it snaps in the natural. And when the last remnant of this burden collapses, you will not just feel relieved, you will feel reborn. My beloved child, I want you to expand your capacity to conceive of what is possible, for you have been living in a world of droplets while I am preparing to submerge you in an ocean. You have spent years praying for a cup of water to survive the day. But I am the creator of the tides and the architect of the deep. I do not just possess the silver and the gold. I own the very foundations upon which all wealth is built. Do not look at the economy of man or the limitations of your current industry to determine your future. I am currently releasing a flow of resources so vast that it will be measured in billions, not to satisfy the greed of the world, but to empower the calling of the chosen. I am redirecting the currents of global wealth, pulling them away from those who have used them for darkness and steering them toward the storehouses of those who carry my light. You are being positioned to be a conduit for this flow. I am not just giving you enough to pay your debts. I am giving you enough to change your city, to build legacies, and to fund the dreams I whispered into your soul before the foundations of the world were laid. I am opening the windows of heaven right now, and I am pouring out a blessing that you will not have room enough to receive. This is not a slow trickle or seasonal rain. It is a spiritual monsoon. I am speaking life into business ideas that you abandoned years ago because you thought you lacked the capital. I am reviving investments that the world told you were dead and worthless. Watch as I move through the markets and the institutions, creating sudden favor where there was once only rejection. You will receive phone calls from people who have the resources but need your vision. You will find yourself in rooms you didn't have the credentials to enter because my favor is your passport. I am releasing a divine download into your mind, one idea, one strategy, one connection that will act as a key to unlock a treasury of billions. This is the Malachi promise in action. The floodgates are being unbolted, and the pressure of the coming abundance is already rattling the doors of your current reality. As you feel this ocean of provision beginning to rise around your feet, it is essential that you remain in alignment with the source. You cannot navigate these deep waters alone. This is a moment of divine partnership. Keep your heart clean. Keep your hands steady. Keep your ears tuned. Do not let distraction pull you back into small thinking when I am calling you into the deep. The tide does not negotiate with fear. It moves by my command. The wealth transfer is not a myth. It is a divine necessity for the hour we are entering. I am stripping the resources from the hands of the arrogant and the oppressive, and I am placing them into the hands of those who have been proven in the furnace of lack. You have passed the test of the little things, and now you are being called to the much. I see the blueprints you have hidden in your heart, the orphanages you want to build, the ministries you want to fund, the families you want to lift out of the dirt. Because your heart is aligned with my purposes, I am aligning my billions with your name. This flow is coming from the north, the south, the east, and the west. It is coming through unexpected checks, through the liquidation of assets you forgot you owned, and through a sudden appreciation of everything you touch. The era of not enough is being swallowed by the ocean of more than enough. Stand on the shore of your new life and watch the tide come in. It is bigger than you imagined, and it is all for you. My child, I know that the scars of your struggle go much deeper than your bank account. I have seen the way financial stress has acted like a slow poison, seeping into your most precious relationships, stealing the joy from your home. I saw the arguments in the kitchen over bills that led to walls of silence between you and those you love. I saw the friends who walked away when your status changed, and the family members who looked at you with pity or judgment instead of pride. You have felt the sting of being the burden or the one who never has enough, and it has caused you to withdraw into a shell of isolation. But hear my voice. The restoration I am bringing is total. I am not just filling your pockets. I am mending your heart. I am the God who restores the years the locusts have eaten. In this coming season, I am going to rebuild the bridges that were burned in the heat of your trial. I will soften the hearts of those who misunderstood you, and I will bring back the people who truly belong in your destiny. With a heart of reconciliation, you will find yourself surrounded by a community of honor, and the loneliness that has been your shadow for so long will be swallowed up by the warmth of genuine, loving connection. I am taking the bitterness out of your memories and replacing it with the sweetness of a new beginning. I have also watched the toll that this season of lack has taken on your physical body. I saw you tossing and turning at 3 a.m., your mind racing like a runaway train over things you could not control while your body screamed for a rest that would not come. I know the tension that lives in your shoulders and the dull ache that settles in your chest every time you think about the future. You have been carrying the weight of the world, and it has worn you down, aging you before your time and draining your vitality. But as the billions are released and the debt is destroyed, I am also speaking a word of divine health over every cell in your body. I am the great physician, and I am removing the stress-induced ailments that have plagued you. Your sleep will become sweet and deep again, for I give my beloved sleep. The chronic exhaustion that felt like it was in your very bones is being replaced by a supernatural energy. I am giving you the strength of your youth to enjoy the abundance I have prepared. What good is a mountain of gold if you do not have the health to climb it? I am aligning your physical frame with the rhythm of my peace, ensuring that your vessel is strong, vibrant, and ready to handle the influence and the activity of your 2026 reality. This is the wholeness that the world cannot buy, and the systems of man cannot provide. When you stand in the center of your breakthrough, you will look around and see not just a restored bank balance, but a completely restored life. You will see your children looking at you with a sense of security and peace, no longer sensing the underlying current of your fear or the shadow of your anxiety. You will see your partner or your closest companions standing beside you in a new level of intimacy, a bond that was forged in the fire, but has now been refined into gold. You will look in the mirror and see eyes that are bright with hope and clarity, instead of being dimmed by the fog of despair. This is the God did it moment, where every area of your existence, your finances, your family, your mind, and your body comes into a holy harmony. I am the God of the 360-degree restoration. I do not leave any part of my children's lives in ruins. Every tear you shed over a broken relationship or a failing body has been seen, and every one of those tears is being traded for a crown of beauty. Prepare yourself for the healing power of my presence is moving through your home right now, repairing what man said was irreparable and making you whole again. My child, I am teaching you the language of the kingdom, a dialect that does not speak of what is seen, but of what is promised. The world says, I will believe it when I see it, but in my presence, the rule is different. You will see it because you have already believed it. There is a phrase that carries more weight than any prayer of desperation, a phrase that vibrates through the foundations of the spiritual realm and causes every demon of lack to tremble. That phrase is God did it. It is the signature of the miraculous and the seal of the finished work. I want you to stop asking how and when and start declaring the outcome, as if the clock has already struck midnight on your breakthrough. When you say God did it, you are not just making a statement. You are locking in a reality that has already been recorded in the halls of heaven. You are reaching into your future in 2026 and pulling that victory into your present moment. The words you speak are seeds and the testimony of God. Did it is the most powerful seed you can plant in the soil of your destiny. I want you to begin to rehearse your victory every single day, even while the bank balance still shows the old numbers and the bills still sit on the table. When the spirit of heaviness tries to descend upon you and the enemy whispers that nothing has changed, you must interrupt that pattern with a shout of authority. Do not say, I am tired, say God did it. Do not say, I am broke, say God did it. Do not say, I am alone, say God did it. Every time you utter these words, you are aligning your frequency with the wealth transfer that is already in motion. You are telling the universe that the deal is done, the debt is paid, and the restoration is complete. This is the language of faith that moves mountains. I have seen the way you have struggled to keep your head up, but I am giving you a new song. This is not a maybe or a someday hope. It is a God did it certainty. Practice saying it until it becomes as natural as breathing. Let it be the first thing you say when you wake up. And the last thing you say before you close your eyes. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of 2026, looking back at this very moment. You will see the miracles that seemed impossible today as mere stepping stones on your path. You will see the zeros in your account, the peace in your home, and the strength in your body. And the only explanation you will have for the world is God did it. I am inviting you to step into that testimony right now. Do not wait for the physical manifestation to claim the spiritual victory. If you can feel the power of this prophetic declaration rising in your soul, do not keep it hidden. This is the moment to seal your future testimony. Type "God did it" or 2026 in the comments right now to signal to the heavens that you are accepting the finished work. By typing these words, you are performing a prophetic act of faith that anchors your soul to the promise. You are locking the gates of lack behind you and opening the gates of abundance before you. Say it with conviction, say it with joy, for the decree has been signed and the victory is yours. My beloved child, the time for quiet observation has passed. We have walked through the valleys of your pain and climbed the peaks of revelation, and now we stand at the threshold of the sanctuary, where the impossible becomes possible. I want you to enter a state of deep, holy stillness. Lay aside your phone for a moment. Place your hands open on your lap in a posture of receiving, and let the rhythm of your breathing slow down. You are not just listening to a prayer. You are participating in a divine counsel. I, the Lord of hosts, am leaning in to hear the resonance of your spirit. This prayer is a spiritual battering ram that will pierce through the thickest clouds of opposition and reach the very heart of the throne room. Every word I speak through you now is a command to the elements, a decree to the angels, and a death warrant for the spirit of lack that has haunted your name. Feel the atmosphere around you begin to thicken with my presence. The air is changing. The room is filling with a light that no darkness can extinguish. We are about to move the mountains that have stood in your path for generations. Heavenly Father, I stand as the sovereign creator over this chosen soul. I speak now to the spiritual foundations of their life, and I command every lie of the enemy to be uprooted. I release a holy fire to consume the records of debt that have been used to blackmail their peace. I speak to the banks, I speak to the creditors, and I speak to the systems of man. I command a spirit of favor and forgetfulness to fall upon those who hold the ledgers of this child. I declare that their name is being highlighted in the halls of provision. I command the treasures of darkness to be unearthed right now. I release the secret riches that have been guarded by shadows, and I order them to find their way to this household. I speak to the year 2026, and I command it to yield its harvest ahead of schedule. I declare that the billions I have reserved for the kingdom are being funneled into this vessel. I break the seal of stagnation. I shatter the glass ceiling of just enough. I decree that the windows of heaven are not just open, but they are being torn off their hinges to pour out a blessing that cannot be contained by human logic. Now, my child, feel the momentum rising. The prayer is gathering speed. I command every shut door to burst open with the force of 1,000 suns. I command every no that has ever been spoken over your life to be overruled by my supreme. Yes, I command the spirit of poverty to pack its bags and flee from your bloodline forever. I command every bill in your mailbox to be marked, paid in full by the blood of the Lamb. I command the spirit of delay to be broken. No more waiting, no more wandering, no more wondering. I release the sudden breakthroughs, the overnight turnarounds, and the miraculous windfalls. I command the strangers I have appointed to find you today. I command the ideas that carry the billions to explode in your mind right now. I decree that you are the head and not the tail, the lender and not the borrower. Every chain is snapping, every yoke is melting, every wall is crumbling. I speak life to your dead dreams. I speak gold to your empty pockets. I speak glory to your story. It is happening now. It is shifting now. It is done. Breathe in the victory, my chosen one. The prayer has pierced the heavens, and the decree has been recorded in the eternal registry. You are no longer fighting for victory. You are resting in the victory I have already won. The sound of the breaking chains is still echoing in the spirit realm, and the angels are already being dispatched with the packages of your provision. Do not let your mind return to the smallness of yesterday. You have been expanded. You have been empowered. You have been vindicated. The God did it era has officially begun in your life, and there is no power in hell that can reverse the momentum of this hour. Carry this fire with you as you walk through your day, knowing that the atmosphere of your home is now a sanctuary of abundance. Every step you take is now a step onto holy ground, and every breath you take is a breath of freedom. The heavens are silent in awe of what is about to manifest in your life. My precious one, the words I have spoken over you this day are now woven into the very fabric of your reality. You have been sealed with a divine mark that the forces of lack cannot penetrate. As you move forward from this moment, do not look back at the shadows of the past or the struggles of the years that tried to break you. The version of you that entered this conversation no longer exists. You have been reborn into the frequency of the chosen. This prophecy is not a mere suggestion. It is a spiritual blueprint that is already constructing your new life in the unseen realm. The billions are in motion, the debt is dissolved, and the 2026 restoration is your undeniable inheritance. Walk with your head held high. For the King of Kings is your provider, and the Lord of Hosts is your shield. You are covered by the blood and backed by the treasury of heaven. Every word of this message has been an investment in your soul, and the harvest is about to manifest in ways that will leave the world in awe. But listen closely, for I have one final instruction before you go. Your breakthrough is not meant to be a solitary event. In the coming days, pay attention to your surroundings with the eyes of the Spirit. I am sending a messenger to your path, a stranger wearing a garment of blue. This individual will appear in an unexpected place, perhaps a quiet corner of a room, a busy street, or through a digital connection you haven't used in years. They will bring a word, an offer, or a suggestion that will seem small, but contains the spark of your great expansion. Do not dismiss them because of their appearance or the randomness of the encounter. I have chosen them to be a physical bridge to your financial destiny. This stranger is waiting for your readiness, and in my next message, I will reveal the specific secret you must know to recognize the true intent behind their offer. Do not miss what is coming next, for the mystery of the stranger in blue is the final key to your 2026 wealth transfer. Now, as an act of finality, seal this entire prophecy into your life forever. Do not let the enemy steal the seed I have planted in your soul today. Type Amen or It is done in the comments right now to lock this blessing into your history and ensure it is never stolen. This is your signature on the divine contract of your future. And as your final act of holy agreement, press the like button and subscribe to this channel right now, making sure to turn on the notification bell. By joining this sacred family, you are anchoring yourself to a community of victors and ensuring that you will be the first to receive the instructions for the stranger in blue. Do not walk this path alone. Join us as we step into the billions together. I am with you, I love you, and I have already seen your victory. The gates are open, and your new life is waiting. It is finished. Amen. My beloved child, I know you were about to scroll. I know the digital noise of this world has been screaming in your ears, trying to drown out the still small voice within. But I want you to stop. Right now. Take a breath, a real breath. the one you've been holding for days, weeks, maybe even years. This moment is not an accident. This video appearing on your screen is not a quirk of an algorithm. I am the architect of time, and I have paused the universe just for this encounter. You have been whispering into the void. Is there anyone there? Does anyone see me? And today, I am answering. I have reached through the static of your life to hold your hand. You feel a stirring in your spirit, don't you? A recognition that goes deeper than words. That is because your name was written in the stars long before you drew your first breath. I was there when you were formed, and I am here now as you stand at the edge of the greatest transformation of your life. Do not turn away, for what I am about to tell you is the key to the door you thought was locked forever. You are not behind. You are being built. You are not breaking. You are becoming. This is the divine appointment you have been praying for, the answer to the silent cries of your heart that no one else could hear. I have come to tell you that your season of hiddenness is coming to an end. Before I reveal the blessing coming to you, I need you to declare your presence. This is an act of spiritual alignment, a way to signal that your heart is open to receive the miraculous. Type "I am here, Lord," or 7007 in the comments right now to open the gates of heaven over your life. This is your way of telling the spiritual realm that you are no longer hiding, but standing ready. And if you feel my presence in this room, if you feel the warmth of my love surrounding you like a shield, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Join my family of light. For your journey of 1,000 miracles begins with this one small act of faith. By subscribing, you are telling the universe, I am ready. I am listening. I am home. I see you, my child. I see you when the lights go out and the world thinks you are sleeping. I see the way you stare at the ceiling, your mind, a whirlwind of what ifs and if onlys. I see the tears that track silent paths down your cheeks, the tears you wipe away quickly, so no one else can see your perceived weakness. I was there in the 3:00 a.m. silence, when the weight of the world felt like a physical pressure on your chest. I heard the sigh that escaped your lips when you looked at your bank account, wondering how much longer you could keep the house, the car, the life you've worked so hard for. I saw you looking into the mirror this morning, searching for a spark that used to be there, only to find a stranger with tired eyes, looking back. You have been wearing a mask of strength for so long that you've forgotten the face beneath it. You tell everyone I'm fine, but I hear the scream in your soul. I see the way your hands shake when you think no one is watching. I see the exhaustion that no amount of sleep can fix, the soul-deep weariness of a warrior who has been fighting a war they never signed up for. You feel like you are falling apart, but I want you to know that you are not falling apart, you are falling into purpose. You don't get lost, you get aligned. Even when you feel at your lowest, I am using that rock bottom to build a foundation that nothing in this world can shake. I am close to you when your heart is broken, and I am the one who breathes life back into your crushed spirit. I have recorded every prayer you thought went unanswered, and I have kept every tear in my bottle. You are not being punished, you are being trained. Your current struggle is not a sign of my absence, but a testimony of my preparation. Trust my timing, for I know when the right moment is to turn your mourning into dancing. You are stronger than you think, and I am never too late. At your worst moment, it is not over, because as long as I wake you up, it means I am not through with you yet. I have watched you give and give until your own well ran dry. I have seen you pour your heart into people who only knew how to take. I saw the way you stayed late to help a colleague, only for them to take the credit, without a second thought, while you walked to your car in the dark, exhausted and ignored. I saw the way you lent money you didn't have, sacrificing your own peace of mind, only for the borrower to disappear or grow cold when you needed a helping hand in return. I saw the betrayal that cut deeper than any knife, the sharp whispered words spoken behind your back by those you considered family, those you defended when the world was against them. I saw the way you forgave and forgave and forgave again, thinking that your love would eventually change them. But instead, they used your kindness as a floor mat, assuming your silence was a sign of weakness. You wonder if being good is worth it in a world that seems to celebrate the ruthless. You wonder if the universe rewards the selfish and punishes the selfless. But listen to my voice. I have seen every hidden act of sacrifice. I have recorded every moment you chose love over spite, even when your heart was breaking into 1,000 pieces. Your kindness is not a weakness. It is the highest form of courage. It is a reflection of my own nature within you. While they took from you, they didn't realize they were only emptying your hands, so I could fill them with something they can never take away. Your rewards are not tied to their gratitude. They are tied to my faithfulness. I am the God who redeems everything you have been through, and I know how to make up for every ounce of love you felt was wasted on the wrong people. Place your hand over your heart right now. Feel that beat. That is my signature on your life. I am removing the heavy burden of other people's expectations from your weary shoulders. I am taking the weight of their ingratitude and casting it into the depths of the sea where it can no longer drown your joy. Breathe deeply now. You are safe in my hands. If you believe I am lifting this weight off you right now, do not stay silent. Type "Breakthrough is mine" or 888 to claim your new beginning. Join this family of believers by liking this video and subscribing, signaling your agreement with heaven that your season of being used is over and your season of being honored has begun. You are moving from the shadows of sacrifice into the light of divine recognition. You feel like a stranger in your own life, don't you? Even in a room full of people, even among those who claim to know you best, you feel like you are speaking a language no one else understands. You look at the world chasing shadows, fame, status, temporary pleasures that leave the soul empty, and you feel a hollow ache because you know deep in your spirit that there is something more. You have tried to fit in, tried to dim your light to make others comfortable, but the fire inside you refused to be smothered. That isolation you feel is not a mistake. It is a sign. You were chosen for a purpose that transcends the ordinary, and the chosen path is often a lonely one before it becomes a crowded one. The darkness attacks the brightest lights first. If you have felt targeted, if you have felt like you've been walking through a spiritual battlefield where every step is a struggle, it is because your light has the power to shatter generational curses that have held your lineage captive for decades. You have been tested in the fire, not to be destroyed, but because only gold can withstand the heat required for purification. Do not envy those who have it easy, for their path does not lead to the heights I am preparing for you. I am with the brokenhearted, and I save those who are crushed in spirit. You are not falling apart. You are being broken open so that the glory I placed inside you can finally shine through the cracks. The seed must crack for the tree to grow. The stone must be chiseled with precision for the masterpiece to emerge. You are currently in the hands of the master sculptor, and every cut, every moment of isolation is designed to align you with your ultimate destiny. If you believe that I am shaping you for greatness right now, do not stay silent. Type "I am chosen" or 1111 to acknowledge this divine shift in your identity. This is the moment you stop apologizing for being different and start embracing the royalty within you. You are a child of the Most High, and though the path is narrow, I am walking every inch of it beside you. My child, let us sit together in this moment and speak deeply about the law of release. I have seen how tightly you have been clenching your fists, trying to hold on to the fragments of what remains of your strength, your resources, and even your old pain. You fear that if you let go, if you truly surrender the pieces of your broken dreams or the memories of those who hurt you, You will be left with nothing but empty hands in a cold world. But my kingdom operates on a frequency that the world does not understand. In my realm to receive, you must first create space. You cannot catch the heavy golden blessings I am reaching out to give you if your fingers are still locked around the jagged stones of your past. To receive the abundance I have prepared you, must have the courage to be empty for a moment. I am calling you today to release the anger that has become a heavy cloak around your spirit. You feel justified in your resentment and in the eyes of the world you are. But that anger is a poison you are drinking while hoping the people who wronged you will suffer. It is not hurting them. It is only eroding the sanctuary of peace I have placed within you. Release the need to know exactly how I will fix your finances, your health, or your family. Your human mind seeks a roadmap, but I am offering you my hand. When you release the old habits, the old hurts, and the old ways of thinking, you signal to the heavens that you are finally ready for a higher frequency of living. True giving is not just about the money you put in a plate or the time you give to a friend. It is the divine kindness you show yourself by letting go of what no longer serves the destiny I have written for you. When you empty your container of worry, shame, and negativity, you make room for the joy, creativity, and confidence that I am pouring out right now. Stop trying to control the wind, and instead, let me be the one who carries your sails. As you let go of the how, you will see the wow of my grace manifesting in ways you never thought possible. Trust me to fill the void you create with a glory that far outweighs the weight of what you have lost. Do not be deceived by the temporary silence you hear or the apparent lack of movement in the physical world around you. I know there are moments when you feel as though your life is a series of unanswered questions and your goodness has simply vanished into the air. But listen closely to my truth. Every prayer you have uttered in the dead of night, every silent tear that soaked your pillow, and every single cent you have given away, when you barely had enough for yourself, all of it has been meticulously deposited into your divine bank account. In my realm, there is no such thing as a lost investment or a forgotten sacrifice. I am the God who sees in secret, and I am the God who rewards openly. Nothing has escaped my notice. Every act of faith you performed while you were hurting has built a treasure that the heavens are now preparing to release into your hands. The interest on your faithfulness has been compounding in ways your human mind cannot yet grasp. While you were crying, I was counting and collecting those tears as seeds for your future joy. While you were working tirelessly in the shadows, in those seasons where no one else noticed your effort or thanked you for your kindness, I was in the wings preparing the spotlight for your divine debut. You may think you have lost time, but I am the Redeemer of time. You may think you have lost opportunities, but I am the one who creates paths in the wilderness. The rewards you are about to receive are not just equal to what was taken from you, they are exponentially greater. I am the God of more than enough, and I am currently preparing your spirit to handle the weight of a blessing so vast, it will require the maturity you have forged in the fire of your trials. If you believe that your harvest is already on the way, and that my timing is perfect, do not remain silent in this sacred moment. Type "I believe" or 777 in the comments right now to signal your trust in my divine accounting. This is your act of spiritual confirmation. If you feel the truth of these words vibrating within your soul, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. This is not merely a digital action. It is a declaration that you are aligning your life with the frequency of my abundance. By joining this family of light, you are telling me, Father, I trust your process, and I am ready for the overflow. Do not lose heart, for the doors that were once bolted shut are beginning to move under the pressure of my favor. Communication is the lifeblood of our relationship, my precious one. I want you to understand, that you do not need fancy words, rehearsed scripts, or a grand cathedral to reach my ears. I am not a distant king, sitting on a cold throne waiting for a perfect petition. I am your Father walking beside you in the dust of your daily life. You only need a heart that is open and a spirit that is willing to whisper. Speak to me while you drive to work through the heavy traffic. Speak to me while you wash the dishes and the house is finally quiet. Speak to me in the middle of a panic attack when words feel impossible and only a groan escapes your soul. I hear the language of your silence just as clearly as I hear the shouts of your praise. Prayer is not a monologue where you simply present a list of things you want me to do. It is a sacred dialogue where I give you my peace in exchange for your chaos. It is the divine discipline of keeping your internal gaze fixed on me, regardless of how fiercely the storm is raging outside your window. When you pray without ceasing, you are not repeating mindless phrases, but you are maintaining a constant awareness of my presence. This connection is what keeps you anchored when the world tries to sweep you away. It is the frequency that allows you to hear my directions when you come to a fork in the road. In this constant state of communion, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and you start being a co-creator of your reality. If you commit to this daily walk with me, if you are ready to hear my voice guiding your every step through the darkness and into the light, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to this channel right now. This is more than just a button. This is your digital altar, a place where you return to reconnect with the source of all power. By making this choice, you are telling me, Father, I am here. Let us talk. You are joining a global community of souls who have decided that they will no longer walk alone. Do not let the noise of the world drown out our conversation. Stay connected to the source and watch how the impossible starts to look easy. My child, listen to the vibration of my voice and understand the power that resides within your own. The tongue has the power of life and death, and it is the rudder that steers the ship of your destiny. I created the entire universe with a single word, calling light out of the darkness. And because you are made in my image, you possess that same creative frequency. Every time you speak, you are not just describing your reality. You are prophesying your future. If you spend your days speaking of your exhaustion, your lack, and your failures, you are inadvertently ordering more of the same from the universe. You are planting seeds of thorns and wondering why your garden is not blooming with roses. I'm calling you today to change your confession. Stop saying I'm broke and start declaring my provision is on the way from unexpected sources. Stop saying I'm sick and tired and begin to say divine healing is flowing through every cell of my body and my strength is being renewed like the eagle's. Your words are like seeds. Every time you utter them, they are taking root in the fertile soil of the spiritual realm. If you speak lack, you will harvest lack. If you speak abundance, you will harvest abundance. Sometimes, my child, you have to simply zip it and refuse to speak the negative things you see with your physical eyes, so that you do not dig up the good seeds I have already planted in your life. Stop saying I am lonely and start saying I am surrounded by the favor of God and the love of the Holy Spirit. Your physical reality will always eventually adjust to the level of your internal confession. When you align your speech with my promises, you activate the angels who are waiting to move on your behalf. Every thank you you offer before the blessing arrives is a shout of victory that echoes through the heavens. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a co-architect of your world through the power of your words. Speak light into your dark places today and watch as the shadows begin to flee at the sound of your faith. Be careful, my beloved child, who you let into the sanctuary of your soul. You are a vessel of light, but even the brightest flame can be dimmed by the wrong atmosphere. Not everyone who started the journey with you is meant to finish it with you. And that is not a failure, it is a divine filtering. Some people in your life are anchors. They were meant to keep you safe in the harbor for a season. But now, I am calling you to the deep, vast ocean, where the truly great miracles happen. If you try to carry everyone from your past into your future, the weight of their doubt and their limited vision will sink the very ship I have built for your success. You must guard your spirit with all diligence, for from it flow the springs of life that I am trying to refresh. I see you looking at others, comparing your quiet progress to their loud success, and I see the sting of inadequacy it brings to your heart. But hear me, comparison is the thief of joy and the assassin of destiny. You are on a unique divine timeline that I have handcrafted just for you. Your turning point does not look like theirs because your mission requires a different set of tools and a different level of strength. Embrace the beauty of simplicity and the power of the narrow path. Clear the clutter, not just the physical items in your home that hold the energy of old painful seasons, but the mental clutter of opinions and voices that do not belong to me. When you simplify your life and your circle, you create a sacred space that my spirit is eager to fill, with a peace that surpasses all understanding. Your circle of influence determines your level of altitude, and I am moving you to higher ground. I am removing those who drain your spirit, and I am bringing in those who will sharpen your faith like iron sharpens iron. Do not be afraid of the silence or the smaller circle. I am simply pruning the branches so that you can bear more fruit than you ever imagined possible. Your solitude is not a punishment or an abandonment. It is a sanctified preparation for the massive influence I am about to bestow upon you. Step into the quiet confidence of knowing that I am filtering your life right now to ensure only the best, most resilient parts of your world remain for the glory that is about to be revealed. The hardest part of the journey is the waiting room. It is that silent, often agonizing space between the promise I whispered to your soul and the physical fulfillment you can finally touch with your hands. I know you have been in this room for a long time, so long that the walls have started to feel more like a prison than a sanctuary. You look around and see others receiving their breakthroughs, walking out of their own waiting rooms with smiles and testimonies while you remain seated in the silence. You are tempted to think I have forgotten you, or worse, that I have passed you over. But I need you to understand that the waiting room is not a graveyard for your dreams. It is a divine construction site. I am working on the infrastructure of your soul because the blessing I am preparing for you has a weight that would crush the person you used to be. I am building the character, the endurance, and the maturity in you that will allow you to not only receive the blessing, but to sustain it for a lifetime. If I gave you the keys to the kingdom while you still had the heart of a servant to fear, you would lose everything I've worked to give you. Trust me even when you cannot see the path ahead, and trust me when the GPS of your life seems to be spinning in circles with no clear direction. I am not lost, and neither are you. I am simply recalibrating your spirit to a higher frequency of faith. When you cannot trace my hand, you must learn to trust my heart. There is a specific timing to everything under the sun, and my timing is never a second too late. You are in a season of divine shielding. The delay you are experiencing is actually my protection, keeping you from doors that would lead to your destruction and preparing you for the one door that will change your lineage forever. Delay is not denial. It is the strengthening of your inner life so that you can stand in the greatness I have destined for you. Breathe, my child. The wait is almost over, and the work I have done in the dark is about to be revealed in the most brilliant light. Listen closely. My child, for the atmosphere around you is trembling with the weight of what is about to manifest. You have been looking for a sign in the physical world, waiting for a bank balance to change, a medical report to flip, or a door to finally swing wide. But I have come to tell you that the shift has already occurred. In the invisible realm, the decrees of your breakthrough have already been signed with my own hand. The legal battle over your destiny has been won in the courts of heaven. The angels have been dispatched. They are already in transit, carrying the answers to the prayers you whispered in tears months ago. You are simply waiting for the physical sound of the chains hitting the floor. But I tell you with the authority of the Creator, they have already snapped. The power that once held you back has lost its grip, and the momentum of heaven is now pushing you forward. Do you not perceive it? I am doing a radically new thing right now. It is springing up like a hidden stream in the middle of a parched desert. I am making a way in the wilderness of your life, where you thought there was only a dead end. This is your divine turning point, the moment where the narrative of your life changes forever. Everything that was working against you, the people who spoke your name in malice, the obstacles that seemed like insurmountable mountains, the spirit of lack that haunted your household, is now being repurposed by my hand to work for your advantage. The very wind that was in your face, making every single step an exhausting struggle, has shifted. It is now at your back, propelling you toward the finish line of this difficult season. You are no longer fighting for victory. You are walking in the victory I have already secured. The tides have turned, and the overflow you've been thirsting for is finally breaking through the wasteland of your past. Today I am performing a divine surgery on your soul, stripping away the old labels that have clung to you like filthy rags. I am removing the name failure that you began to believe after that project collapsed. I am stripping off the name rejected that was branded on your heart by a parent, a spouse, or a friend who walked away when you needed them most. I am removing the label average that the world tried to place on you to keep you small and manageable. These are not the names I gave you. They are the lies of the enemy designed to keep you from walking in the authority I have prepared for you. You have been carrying the weight of other people's opinions and the scars of your own mistakes for far too long, allowing them to define the boundaries of your life. But today those boundaries are being shattered. I am rebranding you in the fires of my love. And from this moment forward, you will see yourself through my eyes. Your new identity is overcomer. Your new identity is favored. Your new identity is royal. You are a child of the Most High God, a co-heir to a kingdom that knows no lack and fears no darkness. I am calling you to walk like it, to talk like it, and to think like it. You cannot expect a victory while you are still nursing the wounds of a victim. Bury the inner victim today. Bury the part of you that looks for pity, and instead embrace the part of you that carries my power. The world will treat you based on the identity you accept and project. If you walk with your head bowed in shame, the world will walk over you. But when you stand tall in the knowledge that you are my masterpiece, the atmosphere around you must shift to accommodate your royalty. You were not created to survive the storm. You were created to speak to the storm and command it to be still. If you believe that I am shifting your identity right now, if you are ready to stop being a victim and start being a victor, do not stay silent. Type "I am favored" or 1212 in the comments to signal your agreement with this divine transformation. This is the moment you step into the truth of who I created you to be. And as you feel this new strength rising within you, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. This is your commitment to staying in the frequency of my light and surrounding yourself with the truth of your royal heritage. By joining this family, you are telling the world I know who I am, and I know whose I am. Your past no longer has permission to speak to your future. You are new, you are chosen, and you are unstoppable. You are. My precious child, hear my word regarding the dry ground you have been walking upon. I am the God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, and I am currently opening financial doors that no man can shut. While you were sleeping, I was speaking to the hearts of decision-makers on your behalf. I am moving the spirits of those in authority to favor you, even those who do not know my name. Expect an unexpected phone call that shifts your career trajectory. Look for an email that changes your entire perspective on your future. I am bringing a sudden provision into your life, perhaps a debt that is mysteriously canceled or a resource you thought was lost that suddenly reappears. I am the God who makes a way where there is no way. And your bank account is not a limit for my grace. I am preparing you to be a reservoir of blessing, not just for yourself, but for those around you. You have been faithful in the little, and now I am calling you to the much. And in the sanctuary of your home where there has been strife and silent tension, I am breathing my spirit of peace. I see the distance that has grown between you and those you love. I see the coldness that replaced the warmth of your family life. I am the restorer of all things, and I am currently healing the wounds that words could not fix. Where there was misunderstanding, I am bringing clarity. Where there was distance, I am creating a divine intimacy. I am touching the hearts of your children and your spouse, softening the hardness that the world has created. Your household is being covered by my protection and my love. You will find that the people who were once your greatest source of pain are becoming your greatest supporters. I am mending the broken bonds and turning the bitter waters of your relationships into sweet wine. Rest in me, for the restoration of your peace is as certain as the rising sun. In the next 24 hours, my child, I want you to walk with your spiritual eyes wide open. The universe is about to become a canvas where I will paint signs of my presence and my promises for you. I will speak to you through the mundane, through the ordinary things you usually ignore. You might see a specific number sequence repeatedly, perhaps 1111 or 777, appearing on a clock, a license plate, or a receipt. This is not a coincidence. It is my way of knocking on the door of your consciousness, reminding you that I am here and I am moving. You might hear a song on the radio that speaks to the exact situation you were crying about this morning. You might see a bird that reminds you that if I care for the sparrow, I will certainly care for you. I am sending these signals to tell you that you are perfectly on track. Do not dismiss these moments as mere luck. They are divine winks from your Father confirming that the path ahead is being cleared just for you. Align your actions today with the new reality I am manifesting for you. Faith without works is dead, and alignment is the bridge between your prayer and your miracle. If you are expecting me to move, act like a person who is expecting a guest of honor. Clean your house as if I am walking through the door tonight, because my spirit is already there. Update your resume as if the job of your dreams is already waiting for your signature. Prepare your heart for a flood of abundance by letting go of the habits of lack. If you pray for rain, don't leave your umbrella at home. Your physical actions are the containers for my spiritual blessings. If you want a big blessing, you must build a big container. I am calling you to rise above your current circumstances and live from the level of your destiny, not your history. The shift is not just something I do to you. It is something I do through you as you step into alignment with my divine will. My beloved, as we draw this sacred encounter to a close, I want you to sit in the stillness for a moment and feel the weight of my glory resting upon your shoulders. This was not merely a video you watched or a series of words you heard. This was a divine encounter, a collision between your earthly need and my heavenly abundance. I am sealing every word of this message into the very marrow of your bones and the deepest recesses of your soul. What I have declared over you today, The restoration of your finances, the healing of your heart, and the turning of your tide cannot be revoked by any demon, any critic, any circumstance, or even your own lingering doubts. I have set a mark upon your forehead that the invisible world recognizes. You are mine. And because you are mine, you are untouchable by the hands of the enemy and unstoppable in the pursuit of your destiny. You are now the living embodiment of my grace on this earth, a walking testimony of what happens when a soul finally yields to the Creator. I seal this message in your heart right now, making it a permanent part of your spiritual DNA. What I have started in you today, no man, no system, and no mountain can stop. Your turning point is no longer a distant hope or a maybe in the future. It is here, it is now, and it is manifesting in your physical reality at this very second. Your miracle is not just a possibility. It is an inevitability because I have spoken it, and my word does not return to me void. It is already done. The atmosphere of your life has been shifted from one of survival to one of absolute victory. You are stepping out of this moment as a different person than the one who started it. The old has passed away. Behold, I am making all things new in you. Now I invite you to perform a final act of spiritual sealing. Type Amen or I receive in the comments right now to lock this frequency into your life forever. By typing those words, you are claiming this prophecy as your own and telling the universe that you accept the gift of this new season. Do not stay silent. Let your amen be the shout that brings down the walls of your past. Before you go, like this video and subscribe to this channel to stay anchored in this family of light. Share this message with at least 3 people who are struggling as you become a vessel of my light for others. I will ensure that your own lamp never runs dry. Go in peace. My precious child, for the King is with you, and I am already preparing what I will tell you tomorrow about the specific mission and the helpers I am sending your way. Our conversation has only just begun.